shooting the shelf.
Good morning. Abruptly, Curtis, are you feeling okay, bud? You didn't do your or two into the camera like you normally do when the song's going. I feel like a little distracted today.
Okay, so I've been really busy with this whole customizing studio upstairs, like putting everything together. I see Van in the comment. Van's been giving me a lot of shit because I'm not actually painting, but I've been working to get things organized so I can paint. And like I just like fell into an adult nap at like, I don't know, like 30 minutes before the show's supposed to start. And then woke up about 5 minutes later and go, oh shit, I don't have the shelf selections in yet. So I'm very tired and I've got my coffee here.
Okay.
So just, yeah, once we get these guys on screen, we start looking at shelf selections and we start talking to these wonderful people. I'll be good. But right now it's just like,
let me take care of two things real quick. First of all, on behalf of Curtis, he did not ask me to do this, and I don't think there's been any shortage of this day, but happy birthday, Darla.
Yeah.
Of all birthdays to celebrate, this is probably one of the best celebrations to have for Darla, for connecting with Curtis and coming into all of our lives. And, I'm sure, life would be a lot different for all of us and Curtis if you weren't around. So happy birthday, Darla.
Yeah. I don't say this just because, she's my wife, but she is like the best person I've ever met, and on top of all of her other great attributes, she puts up with my shit on the regular. And I don't know that anybody else could do that. I mean, you're probably after Darla, Jesse, you're probably the closest one in terms of getting the full dose of Curtis on a regular basis. And you know how exhausting it can be. So yeah, it's a lot. So yeah, I don't
know if you're exhausting as much as I'm out of shape and I just can't keep my breath up for it.
No, trust me, I'm exhausting. So
second of all, this is just between you and me.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. I'm going to hold on one second. Van, this is between you and me, buddy. Look right here. Knock it off. Leave Curtis alone. You don't talk to my boy that way. I don't mean boy like my child. Just
he likes the studio and he likes us painting together and stuff, and it's a whole thing, and I get it, and I'm just trying to organize things so that it can run smooth. Can I tell you a little story? Can we have time for a little story time before we bring the guests on?
I mean, I'm not going anywhere.
Okay. So just to illustrate kind of how my brain works, and maybe some people can relate, or maybe I'm just absolute lunatic. So, I'm working on getting this customizing studio together. Yesterday, I come downstairs, I get my coffee in the morning. I'm like, it's the weekend. I don't really want to work myself too hard, but I still need to make progress on this thing. And I go, okay, I'm going to grab this thing of paintbrushes and I'm going to bring it upstairs. Just one thing of paintbrushes, no big deal, whatever, right? Go to grab the thing of paintbrushes. And then I go, oh, wait, last time I painted, I got some brushes out. They're still laying on my desk. I need to clean them and put them away before I can take the paintbrushes up. So go and clean the paintbrushes. Then I go, okay, well, I got to put the covers on the paintbrushes to put them in the thing. Can't find them. Like everything that I've done up till this point has been like on a TV tray. So it's in front of me. I know they're there, but I can't see them because there's so much other stuff around it. So I got to clean my workstation. So I got to clean my workstation to find the covers, to put on the paintbrushes, to put in the thing so I can take them upstairs. I do that, find the covers. And as I'm cleaning the desk, I go, oh crap. Speaking of cleaning a desk, I left some stuff over by Darla's desk when I was on the show on OffWorld. I left my turtles. I need to go grab those turtles and put those away so that she doesn't have to deal with that. Go over, grab my turtles. My Donatello had fallen over and he was in a certain pose that I really liked. And I was like, oh, well, I can't put him away until I get him back in that pose. But I don't remember what the pose exactly looked like. So now I got to go to OffWorld from Friday night to watch the show, to see how I showed it on the screen so that I could put him in the same pose, so I can put him on the shelf, so I can then grab my paintbrushes and I can take him upstairs. And this is how my brain works. And so when I'm painting, like the reason I'm spending so much time like doing blueprints and asking people's opinions and stuff to set up this area is because I will literally have like 3 or 4 colors like right in front of me, and I will not be able to see them. Like I will look at my thing and I'll be like, I have no idea where these things are. And then my brain is doing all this. So if I can organize this thing and I can set it up to where everything has its place and I know exactly where it's at, I'm hoping that maybe I'll be able to be efficient and get some things done without getting distracted by, 10 million other things. So that's what I'm working on right now.
I completely sympathize with that. My brain works very similarly, albeit, it's like, did I just put my socks in the refrigerator and the milk in the bathroom? Like, it's that kind of thing. But also, I've got my paints all organized, and it's great until I move a paint out and I'm using it, and it's not where it's supposed to be. And it's 3 inches to the left of where it should be, and I can't find it. And it's right. That's the only one there. And
that blindness, it's just like, yeah. So
speaking of blindness, we've got some guests that no one can see.
I think I interrupted. You said one. You said you had 2 things. You said one, and then I interrupted. Did you have a second one?
One was happy birthday to Darla. 2 was.
Oh yeah, the van. Okay, gotcha.
Giving Van a lecture. Although, real quick, we do have a $1.99 super chat from the El Spooky Zorro himself. Nice shirt. I got my LeBron shirt on, but that's a beautiful shirt, and it is. He's talking about your shirt.
Yeah, I don't know who did these shirts for Rob, but this shirt may be the most comfortable shirt I've ever worn in my life.
It's a very nice shirt.
It is like it's got a certain. It's not hot, but it's got a certain thickness to it. It's like a warm hug. Yeah, I love this shirt. So,
and happy birthday, Darla. Thank you, Rob, for that.
Shout out the folks in the chat, and then we'll get to this.
Yes. All right, so we got StreamYard. Oh wait, that's not really here. Dirk's Designs, Dave Orkin, Jeremy Govier, Horsome Warlock, Patrick Boyle, Uncle Bob, and Aunt Shelley.
Did you call him Horsome Warlock?
No, my mouth just got stuck. Wholesome Warlock. If I did, it was not intentional. Andy the Collector, Kent Poole, Heinrich Hoffman, Van Johnson, 1-6 Shooter, Maverick the Robot, Beep Boop, Darla Ackerman, Curtis knows her, Michael Morales, Rob Zamora, I am TJ Williams,
H is silent,
Stacy Lynn,
2 favorite Lynn's.
Where am I going here? There's so much.
I tell you what, Brian already had her working again. Like Legion's chat on Friday night, she was already back at it. Like, he's cracking the whip, and he's like, yeah. So
David Williams is out here. What's up? Out in Zone A. Carver Custom. So Brian Lynn, all 3 of the Lynn's. Pink Lemonade. I think that Nate Strong, Geisegway, Echevarria. Sorry, I'm not doing the Kent Poole thing.
No, you're good.
My ears can't handle that.
I don't think we have it saved on this new StreamYard either. So
true. Edgardo, Eddie was up. Dave, I think I said Dave. Steph Workin is out there. Douglas Tupper, Destination Stone. Arthur, man, we got a full house tonight. Arthur Zoran, Turi Zero, and I think that's everybody. If I missed you, or if you come in later, thank you for being here. If you're listening to the replay or watching the replay, we're very happy that you're here to hang out with us.
Shout out to all those folks that were in the customizing studio today too. Guaisagwe was in there. He painted up that thing that he got from what's his name? Chris Ferrone, the kind of the dwarf thing. Did a great job with that. Lauren stopped by. She was working, so she couldn't stay, but she stopped by, kind of check out the studio, see what that was about. Joe Martinez was in there working the whole time. Arthas kept popping in and out. Brian jumped in for a bit, had the McCoys in there. So, customizing studio still going strong. I know there's some people that, maybe taking a break after Legion's Con, giving themselves through the holidays before getting back into it. But if you are interested, we did one on Saturday this week. We always do one on Sunday at 1:00. So hit me up. I'll invite you to the group and go from there.
I didn't join in because I think I got kicked out of one of the chats last week. So I was feeling kind of ways about it.
Oh, okay.
No, I'm a little over peopled right now with D&D this week, and then OffWorld. I was just like, I need some quiet time this week.
Totally get that.
But speaking of not quiet time, we've got some guests waiting back out here.
Well, I got to throw this up there, though. Brian says the guy who had the birthday girl blowing leaves. I did not make her blow leaves, okay? That's what she chose to do with her birthday today, was to go out back and use the leaf blower. I had to video it because I'm like, is this really what you want to be doing on your birthday? She's like, I just wanted to test it out and see what it was like because it's a new leaf blower we haven't used yet. So, yeah, she's adorable. All right, sorry. Go ahead.
No, that's okay. I started watching the season 2 of Shrinking this week with my buddy John.
Oh, and that was out.
I just love that they're doing the kind of verbal, what do I call it? Like the conversation clutch. Where we're like, oh, speaking of this thing you just said, and then completely change the topic. They did something like that to hilarious and dark, humorous effect. So that just made me happy today. I won't share it. I almost did, but I won't. Let's welcome our two guests, folks we've had on before.
We're gonna have some fun. We're gonna talk Christmas stuff, and this is like my favorite time of the year. Like, I am so ready for just wholesome goodness and love and good vibes. And man, I love this time of year. So
yes, it is a fun time of year. So let's bring on our two guests. We were going to have 3, but one of them is not feeling well tonight. So Emil will not be with us physically, but he is here in spirit. And I'm sure he will listen to this at some point so he can hear all the horrible things we have to say about his artwork. So since we're talking about Emil, let's bring on his partner for this story tonight. The one and only Nate. I miss Emil Strong, aka Corona 4. Welcome back to the
show, guys.
Nate.
Thank you.
On, man?
Thrilled to be here.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Super sorry, Nate Strong, after signing so many autographs. Your hand done cramping up from
yeah, it's getting close to being back to normal.
I forgot to bring my book. I got it so I could have it to bring to Legions Con, and I forgot. So next time I see you.
We got you.
Yeah, that's the easy one to get. It's the other autograph that's a little difficult.
Right.
And sitting immediately. Oh, go ahead.
Well, I was just going to reiterate what you said. I'm so bummed that my other half can't be here tonight for this, but
we do have a message from him later. So just FYI, when we get to the slides, I got a message from Emil.
Yeah.
So stay tuned, folks.
All right. And so he doesn't have to keep holding his picture up any longer. Let's welcome back Vernon Gibbs back to the shelf. Welcome, Vernon.
Hello, everybody.
Vernon.
Hey, what's going on?
Whoa.
How are you?
Talk about a glow up.
Whoa, there you go. I'm all grown up now. Look at me.
Man, that's a really nice display behind you. I like that.
Ooh, the
figures and glass.
Who puts toys behind glass?
I know. It's monster.
Beautiful.
We were talking about that.
I feel like we need to do this. So there we go. That's...
what's nice.
We got the cool.
We got the glassy and the classy.
There you go.
I like that.
And then me.
Nice.
Well, guys, we are definitely going to spend a lot of time talking about your books and just the process of writing these kind of things and going through it and what it's all been like for you. But first, when we first start out the show, we do a thing called Shelf Selections. It's where Jesse and I have picked out some photos throughout the week that inspired us. Haven't done this for a couple weeks. We did a live show at Legions Con, didn't do one there. And then last week we had, 15 million couples on the show last week.
That was great. That was a lot of fun.
So it would have taken a while to get through all the comments on those. So we are back to Shelf Selections, though. We're back to highlighting people in the community, and we're excited. So let's get rolling with that.
All right.
First one is one of mine.
Ooh.
This is Toy Immersion. And you got some skeletons there breaking through. You got the relic Templars trying to protect whatever relics they're protecting. Shout out to Joe Gonzalez, the picture that he did with them guarding like the relics from the armory experience. Cool picture. But this I just thought was really cool, them trying to stop whatever the invasion, and then just the light and the fog and everything rolling through behind the door is just really cool.
Yeah, that's a pretty accurate depiction of fans trying to get the Skeleton Legion builder. It's like,
I can
do
see
you
that.
have more? Do you have more? Like, we don't have any more. They're just so proud. Assembled a great figure. Is like that's me and Cookie trying to hold them back. Like, we don't have any more. We have other stuff.
Perfect.
I would like to pull up this comment from Trevor. Really dropped the ball on shelf selections. We would like to be as timely as your photobomb, but some of us aren't quite as professional as you, Trevor. So
now that
views and
Legion's Con's
opinions of
over,
Curtis Ackerman do not necessarily reflect the views of Jeff Velvet or Shooting the Shell.
the Love
I need to
Fest
make
is
a clip.
over.
Jesse, thoughts on this one?
I don't know how I missed this one because I'm definitely following Toy Immersion. This is a great shot. I like it.
Yeah.
It's doing that thing where it's telling so much of a story in one single frame. Like the lighting,
Yeah.
it's pulling in like that scene from Gladiator when he walks into that more rural arena that first time he goes into combat. The way they have the shadows with the cross hatching of the beams above it, and it's like it just makes me want to know what the relic temple guards are.
What are they guarding?
What are they guarding? Because I know they're like a smaller subset within the Templars in general, which is still a smaller subset of Aetheron. So, yeah, this is a great shot. I love like the skeletons. Like it took me a moment to realize what I was seeing there because the lighting.
Yeah, pretty amazing.
Nate?
Yeah, it's dope, man. Aaron, he's a great photographer. Love his work. I love the low perspective. I love that you can see somewhat of a ceiling with the light, and the fog coming through there as well as the door. It's a great perspective, great composition.
Yeah. Vern, anything else on this?
No, I just think it's the angles are pretty amazing, and just there's a lot told with just the posing of the figures. So it just seems like they're busting through, and you want to know what happens next. Do they make it through? Do they hold them back? So it tells a lot. The posing is pretty amazing.
The only thing I would say that I think could make this a little bit better for me would be adding some different hands. So like if the Templar on the left, if he had kind of an open hand, like trying to push the door shut, and even maybe like that top skeleton or the bottom skeleton, one of them have like the pointing finger or something, just something to add a little bit, extra there. But otherwise, this is fantastic. So
yeah. And I know it was pointed out, and I'm going to jump on Trevor's defense here, because after rereading the Skeleton Builder 2's bio, they can be destroyed. It doesn't say what type of weapon has to destroy them. It just says that their skeleton has to be destroyed to stop them. So if you can cut a skeleton to bits with a sword, you can destroy it.
All right.
Or a spear.
Yeah. Next one's one of Jesse's.
This is Action Figure Neverland. It's a custom elf with what appears. I don't know if that's from an existing figure or if it's a custom head that has a very World of Warcraft Blood Elf vibe to it. But I love the color scheme. I don't know if that's just Grisha or if it's been repainted. But it's a really cool looking shot. I love, like going hunting with its wolf and the background and everything. Again, another one. I want to know where the story is going.
And the sense of distance with that stuff in the back, so that whatever they use to make it to create, like, obviously that mountain isn't that far away, but it seems far away. So it really is use of that is really pretty awesome.
Yeah, I mean, I personally can't tell if that's a monitor in the back or if that is an actual outdoor shot. Like it's a good amount of blur in the background, and it's far enough off of the distance that I really can't tell. So I like this. I like the pose with the kind of what do you call that? Knocking the arrow, Jesse.
Yep.
Yeah, just that kind of getting ready as you're walking along. That's really cool. Nate?
Yeah, there.
Yeah, I agree. Again, Brian, great photographer. It's good to see him and Aaron at Legion's Con. But yeah, the sense of the depth, because you've got the foreground elements, the background's great. I think Brian does most of his stuff inside, so I'm pretty sure that's either a print or a screen. But yeah, he did the lighting great. It's matching the lighting in the background, coming from that right side of frame. So really well done.
Awesome. I don't know about you, Jesse, but I'm kind of nervous that like Nate's gonna really show us up on the photography information. Like we're gonna say something, and he's gonna be like, "No, actually, you're wrong," and it's according to the
Well,
rule of
actually-
third. Blah, blah, blah.
Actually-
Yeah,
In my
Yeah.
opinion,
Yeah.
please do. Like
Yeah.
I like talking about just like the pure, like the raw feeling of it all. But if I say something
Yeah.
that's technically wrong, please correct me.
I'm just
No.
intimidated as hell right now. So, so
Technical's
my next
not
one.
my suit, anyways. Yeah.
My next one that Nate's going to yell at me about. No, this is
Holy
figure
crap.
underscore shooting. Just a lot going on here. I got the subway in the background, a lot of folks in the picture, and then just kind of the emotion with the two holding hands there in the middle. I don't know. It's just a really cool shot. I think that's a floor from Crashbox. I think
maybe.
I'm not positive. It's not.
That's cardboard.
Oh, okay.
The whole thing's cardboard. That's one of the extreme sets.
Oh, really?
subways,
They got
I
a
think.
subway set?
I think they do have a subway set.
Gotcha. Yeah, a lot of folks in here. So I just think there's a lot going on, but it also has emotion, and I was just kind of like, oh, so there you go.
This shot blows me away. It's like at first, because the way the screen size and everything, I thought it was just like a photo. I'm like, why are you showing a photograph from like, what is this? Is this like an AI thing? Like, because those characters don't belong together. And I'm like, holy crap, the two figures in front are figures. And then I was like, wait, no, all of them are like just there's such a variety, because a lot of figures have very similar builds, especially like Marvel Legends, but a lot of these are Marvel Legend figures that have different scale and proportion. So like kudos to Hasbro for getting such a diversity in their shapes and builds, but like just it looked like Wolverine and Short Round were photoshopped into a live action scene for a second when I first saw it, is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, I like all the different footsteps too, like just the way it looks like they're moving. That I don't know, just did a really good job. So
Yeah, I think it's amazing that we're in the age where we have a Short Round action figure. Which, I mean,
Amen.
As a kid, I mean, I remember just thinking about Indiana Jones and how it'd be cool to have toys, but to have that kind of this merging of worlds is pretty awesome. And I just came from the city, so I wasn't on the subway, but I just remember this is like a scene out of the subway. Just it could be something, two people walking back from Comic-Con. So they really got the sense of movement with obviously just figures that are just still. So it's pretty amazing to be able to pull that off.
Yeah, Nate.
Yeah, you guys covered pretty much everything I was going to say. The movement, the walking, again, the depth. You've got that guy on the left there just in frame, and then it goes all the way into the back. Really nice lighting, great storytelling. Yeah, fantastic shot.
And I got to just add this, not about the shot, but I did just find the Short Round at Ollie's for $10, and it's so cool to have a short character that's that short with the level of articulation it has. Glad that character and that actor got a fully realized toy finally for such a great
and a second career too. He's all of a sudden it's amazing. He's like a starring actor, so it's pretty awesome.
So deserving. Yeah, I wish Hasbro would have kept going with their indie line, but I'm grateful for what we got while we got it.
Unpopular opinion. I love what he's doing now. I could not stand that kid when he was younger in those movies.
In Goonies and he was annoying. But,
but like in the Loki series, I loved him. I thought he was awesome. So
Everything Everywhere All at Once he was
great.
Full range of acting skills. So it's great to see him get a second try.
Yeah, for sure,
totally.
Next one is one of Jesse's.
Ooh. So this is from the Patina Prince, who 13Z Customs, Matt Stein, a good buddy of ours now, who's come a long way in his painting stuff. Like he's been doing really cool stuff all year and has been patinaing a lot of stuff, like full on, metallic effect. It's not showing up that great in this picture, but I liked this pose of the slides he put in. So go check out his page if you want to see the rest of it. But he clearly repainted the Ninian infantry trooper to like that kind of green tone, but then the effects, the patina effects he's got on the edges of the scales is really, it's a really cool looking effect, and it makes this character more of a character instead of a troop builder. I think it's awesome.
Yeah, I mean, I mean, Matt just does a great job. He's awesome. I would not have thought to patina Snake Man, but it works. Like it doesn't feel to me like this is like a patinaed metal. It just, or a tarnished metal. It just feels like that's the skin or the scale color on this thing. And like I said, it really works for me. So, Vern.
Yeah, it's funny. I'm not that into the patina look, but every time I see something by him, I'm just like, wow, he just makes it work so well. And I'm seeing a lot of customs of the Ninian infantry, just a variety of, just snakes come in all colors, so it's really great to see something like this, which you wouldn't necessarily think of for that kind of look, but it looks, he just pulls it off so well. So it's pretty awesome.
Yeah. Nate?
Yeah, again, I'm with everything you guys said. And I'm also impressed, like you said, Vern, about how many people have been doing this and like so quick. Like they were on it. Like, we just got back from Legion's Con and we're already seeing these customs, man. So it's been super fun and impressive. But yeah, I love this. Matt does amazing stuff. It was great to hang out with him a bit at Legion's Con too. Great dude.
Beautiful.
I add one more real quick thing to that one.
Sure.
Steph had this comment. Breaking out of the bronze sculpt is coming to life. Maybe I think that's really cool. Or maybe he's like got some dragon blood in him, and he's like living in like a gold hoard, and the gold is just like seeping into his scales. I don't know. There's a lot of fun stories here.
That's cool. Very cool.
This next one is from an up and coming photographer at Corona 4. I don't know.
Heard of him. I
don't know that name. I don't know if he's got the virus or if he just drinks a lot of, those like beers.
I believe it's pronounced Corona 4.
Okay. But yeah, but no, seriously, this is Nate. Awesome picture. Awesome custom, man. LeBron killed this thing. It seemed like talking to him earlier this week, he was kind of surprised the amount of attention that this one got because he didn't spend as much time as maybe some of the other customs that he did. Yeah. But I think this thing came out absolutely phenomenal. Nate obviously did a great job doing the photography on this. I love the lights in the background. I love the pose, like just everything. Like this guy looks like he is not to be fucked with. So, yeah, I guess before we go into anybody else, Nate, any comments on this picture or how this came together or your thoughts on this custom?
Well, yeah, I mean, I think like a lot of people and a lot of Legion's Cons, I go there with somewhat of a budget, and like OMK says, plan on bringing X amount and then double it. Because I had fully intended not to get any full customs this year, and every time I walked by Late Night's table, this caught my eye, so I had to bring it home. It was so cool. And then it was one of the first things I shot. That's just an old computer PC piece in the back, from Tower. A couple lights I picked up at Mesquite-Con a couple years ago, and I just like I said, love the piece and hope I did it justice with this photo.
It's beautiful. Jesse?
I just need to say, everybody chill.
Show's over. That's it.
All right. Jesse channeled his inner Brad Jones.
Obviously, this, LeBron is an awesome customizer. Wearing your shirt, Eric. Thank you. It's really cool. The paint on that head is just so like it. I know lots of blue light stuff gets made fun of in jokes and stuff, but this one, it gives it that cold, like you're in some sort of cryogenic facility or something, like it. I mean, clearly, I don't know what I'm trying to say. It's awesome. You captured it perfect, and this is a great custom.
Thanks, Jesse.
Yep. Vern, anything else on this one?
No, I mean, yeah, just everything from the pose to the background. It's just like he's walking through some kind of cryogenic refrigerated unit or something and about to cause havoc somewhere. So it's awesome. And the way he's looking, even the way he's looking off to the left, it's just everything about it, the hulking presence is just like, wow, that's awesome.
Yeah, and you know, shout out to Treadaway on this sculpt of the tusk body. It amazes me every time I see it. Like every version that we get from Joe Vassapolo that he does, every, you know, custom that I see, like, just there's so many details in that sculpt that you can kind of pick and choose and say, okay, this time I'm going to paint these accents, and next time I'm going to paint that. And you could do it, you know, 100, 200 different times, and it's going to look different every single time.
Yeah,
there's just
great
so
point.
much sculptural detail there, and it really is a nice you know, playground for any kind of customizer, any kind of artist. So, you know, customizers out there, if you have not dug into the cosmic world, I'm telling you, you're missing out, because this body is an amazing one to paint. So
Yeah, absolutely.
And speaking of sculpt, I tried tracking down who did that head.
yeah,
I couldn't find out. So if anyone knows, please let me know, because I'd love to tag it in my Insta and Facebook pages. So yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah, it's amazing.
All right, next one is one. Oh, I think I got
Yes.
a double up. You got my other one in the background, but here you go, Jesse.
That's
Yours
okay.
is the one in the
That's
middle.
okay. Yes. So I was just going to say, I didn't know if it was going to be the next photo or not, but this is from my buddy Tyler, failed
So
_
good.
Imagineers. I've been debating for years getting him a Mythic or a Cosmic Legion figure since the Cosmic came out last year, but he was been so focused on Black Series and customizing that, and he didn't want to start any other lines. But he went to Uncle Bob's last week or so, and he had a couple open loose ones for sale, a Science Officer and a Sentry, and he got them. And I was like, oh man, I can't wait to see, because he's an awesome painter. Like, he's done stuff that he didn't get credit for the printing. He does 3D printing and stuff as well for all the Star Wars stuff, but he'll do stuff with like the straps and the clips and all these like different gear things. So he's been texting me all week the progress on this. I'm like, man, I can't wait for you to post this. Like, it's I think he's super talented, and like you were saying with this sculpt, Curtis, 1,000 different people could be given the same 5 paints and paint the figure 1,000 different ways.
Yeah,
just because there's so many different things you can accent or ignore or just do differently. And go check his site out, Failed Imagineers. He's just stepping into the realm of 4 Horsemen stuff, so we'll see where he goes with all of this. But give him a like. He's really talented and just a super cool guy. So
yeah. So this is how detailed this thing is, and kind of illustrate what we've been talking about. Like, on the side of his arm there, where he's got like the lettering colored in, I've painted. I mean, you know me. I got like 30 centuries. I've painted this thing a million times. I've never even noticed like that lettering pattern there, and I've never painted it differently. So like the way that he's got it to where it's like lit up runes or something on his arm, I was like, did he add that? I literally just had to pull one out of my display case and look, and I go, oh shit, that sculpting detail is there. I've never seen it.
Wow.
It's just such an amazing sculpt. I'm glad to hear that your buddy's getting into this. I know we had talked to him before, and just the stuff that he had done with Star Wars and that, you know, seeing him get into this, I think sky's the limits. But yeah, this thing came out phenomenal. So great job.
Yeah.
Vern?
And to add on real quick, if I can add on to, I'll let Vern go. I'll come back to me at the end. Go ahead, Vern.
Okay, Vern.
No, yeah, I think the Sentry is a very I mean, you have 30 of them, so it's not underrated to you, but I think it's an underrated figure because it has so much detail. And I think having seen the, you know, when we did the kind of full size sculptures for Legion's Con, and we did Oleg and we did Ziri, you don't realize how much detail is in the sculpts that Eric puts together until you really, even when you paint it, you see it, but when you see it blown up, you're like, oh my goodness, there's paint detail in the armor, and it's like it's pretty amazing. So, like you said, the Sentry, especially with the color scheme it is, you can, it's like starting with a fresh palette. So you paint a couple things here and there, and all of a sudden you have, you know, it starts to pop, and you don't even realize it. You start to notice details, and this guy did an amazing job just highlighting certain parts that, you know, someone else would go a completely different way, but he found ways to kind of bring out even more detail.
Yeah, I mean that first wave with the science officer, the engineer, and the sentry, like I tell you what, if you wanted to get into customizing cosmics and you've never taken that plunge, like those three are three great figures to start with. I mean, you just boom right off the bat. So
they pose well, and they're like a great palette just to kind of start fresh.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Nate?
Yeah, I was blown away when I saw this today. I mean, the color scheme on it is amazing. And when he said, like, I saw this on Facebook, like this was his first one.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know he had a background in customizing other lines, but I was just like, holy crap! If this is your first attempt, dude, you get like instant follow. Yeah, man.
Not first customizing, but first
wait to see what he's
for sure. Yeah.
I can't wait to just keep seeing what else he's got up his sleeves because this was outstanding. One of the
I
best
know
I've
it's
seen.
kind of blurred in this shot. You can see more on his Instagram, but that, like, even that gun, just all the details that he put into the gun, it's, you know, or the, like, the pouches on the belt, like, it's, dude, he killed it. So
now I'm gonna out him real quick. You mentioned the gun details, which I wanted to mention. I'm gonna out him for a second real quick. He put the belt on backwards initially, and it's got that wider pouch across the back. But that was at the front. I was like, I'm not trying to, like, if you did it on purpose, it looks awesome, but I've never seen the belt. I've never seen the belt on that way. I'm like, I do actually really like it because it looks like he's, you know, it's more functional oriented having that pouch right at the front because, you know, maybe he's got some grenades or like different clips or something in there. I was like, but just in case you didn't do it on purpose, someone might call you out on that. They see it.
I like how Jesse carefully does it, where I would have been like, "Hey, dumbass." You know? That's how I talk to my friends. But okay.
But I say that to say I like that look, and I might, if I ever get another one of these to customize, I might do that on purpose. So
okay. So Jesse, spoiler alert for the next few shelf selections. We're not going to have as many this week because you and I doubled up on 2 photos. So the next 2 we both selected, which, you know, sometimes we'll get it where we select one, but I think this might be the first time that we both selected 2 photos. So the first one from articulated _times. And, you know, I should have known you were going to select this one because, you know, it is Thistlethorn. But it's also got a Darla Ackerman cape, which was the exclusive that she had for Legion's Con with the little brooch that she handmade in the hood there. And just, man, the way that he's got this posed up and like he's just ready to go to battle, like, yeah, this thing's awesome. He killed this. I love Steve. Steve's a great guy. But this photo on top of him being great at just being a person, amazing photo, amazing pose. Love this. So
yes, I mean, it's Thistlethorn and it's a Darla cape, which I have not put on my Thistlethorn yet. Just because the way I've got him posed, he's right in front of my Dio and there's no room for the cape. So I think that's going to go on my next Fuzzmonk custom, which will be similar color palette. I love this picture. Every now and then, like my Instagram, this isn't meant to be a sad sack story, but I'm like, all right, you know, if I do something really cool, I could get some activity. I'm like, okay, well, people are liking this. But whenever Steve does a post, he usually tags me in the post, and I'm like, holy crap, what are people liking of mine? And I'm like, oh, it's Steve's posts that I'm just tagged on.
Yeah.
All right, Vern.
Yeah. I mean, it's amazing what a picture can, you know, picture's worth 1,000 words is what they always say, right? But it's like, you just sense that he's going out, he's getting ready to do some damage and kind of either maybe putting it on or he's getting ready to take it off. But either way, I'm like, I want to know what's going to happen next. Cause I know he's a tiny little guy, but he can do some damage. So I think this picture combined with that beautiful cape and the brooch, I mean, it just looks amazing. So I love it.
What was awesome, you might appreciate this, Jesse. So at the cape that you have was our last one that we had. It was on display. It was the one that I was supposed to take home with me, which means I don't have one right now. But when Eric was walking around and, you know, he only made it through our first row, he actually pointed that cape that you're holding out and where it was on Thistlethorn and said, this is how I picture Thistlethorn. kind of the Ranger looking. He said, if I was to redo this figure, this is kind of something that I would do.
Ooh.
So
That's awesome.
Wow.
Yeah, just FYI. So, which I just thought was really cool. I mean, I think my wife's stuff is great myself, but to hear that from him was amazing. So, Nate?
Again, I agree with everything you guys have said. I love this cape. It's fantastic. The quality of it, the wiring's perfect. The hood is perfect. I love the photo. Steve is a great guy. I love how his hand's up there in the hood, just like you were saying, Vern. He could be pulling it down to hide himself a little bit more, getting ready to reveal himself. If you get Darla off that leaf blower, maybe she'll make you another one, Curtis.
Right? Make a couple. I think
Yeah.
orders.
No, she's at it. Make a couple.
So her next project, just so you guys know, the dragons that she made for Legions Con, she makes Christmas ornaments every year for the family. So that's like her project every like November into December is making the Christmas ornaments and sending them out. So that's
awesome.
her next project she has to work on. And then after that, she'll start working on capes for MesquiCon, which is the next show that we'll be at March 22nd in Michigan. Be there, folks. Yep.
Be there.
Nate, can you show us on your hand where MesquiCon is? Because that's the only way that we know if it's in Michigan, right?
Yeah. Over here.
All right, there it is. Michigan, folks. The only place that you have to show on your hand. So
I need the pinky ring.
Yeah. Next one, Jesse and I both picked. So Jesse, I'll let you talk about this one first. Have at it. Oh, he's got his Thistlethorn.
Ooh.
And he's muted.
Yeah.
Or not. His mic must have cut
sorry.
out.
Yeah. No. I muted.
Very nice.
So there he is. Cape.
That cape looks so great.
Beautiful.
If that's what Eric said he imagined him as, until we get a second version with his own cape, this is how he's staying.
Very nice.
Okay, so this is from the amazing, talented, awesome, and very cool Kevin M. Boots. He does all these amazing outside shots. We say almost every picture we see from him is outside. So the fact that he's going out and doing this, it takes time to get somewhere and then to walk to wherever this stuff is, unless this just happens to be a creek on the side of the road that he could just, but seeing these two guys, these two new characters, the Legions Con, day one exclusives, just in that nice, bright orange and greens, just in this very natural environment with like that distance, it just feels calm and peaceful, but like epic, like they're coming home from a long journey or they're just about to go set out on what maybe their final mission. I don't know. It's good pictures tell a story even if you don't know all the details, and I love it.
Yeah, this is awesome. We talk a lot about the nature shots from all the different photographers in our community, but Kevin always does some amazing ones. I was watching Captain Firebeard Baker. Check out his YouTube. He's got some great content out there, and one of them was a video from Legions Con, and he does some amazing outdoor shots as well. And I saw that him and Kevin actually went during the Legions Con week and actually took some time to go do a photo shoot together outdoors.
Oh, no way.
Which is just really cool. Like two photographers that both love taking photos outdoors, just taking some time during that week to go out and do some photos is just super cool. So
it's adorable.
So great job, Kevin. Nice work. And don't forget, Kevin, you also get to have the one and only 1/6 shooter Trevor Williams take a photo of your swig along with some other guy that I know. So that should be pretty fantastic. So Vern, any thoughts on this one?
Yeah, I think I think when you're taking pictures outside, it's probably hard with the lighting. You don't know what kind of lighting you're going to get and how it's going to result, but it looks like that he just got the right light and the right setting, and the way you have the little the distance, you can tell that there's a lot going on in the distance, but it just has a feeling of calm, and it just is it comes together so great. Just two friends just kind of maybe they just had an argument, maybe they're just kind of contemplating life, maybe they're going to get something to eat, who knows. It's Chris and George, who knows.
Yeah.
They could be thinking about the dragon. Who knows? So, but it's a great picture. The composition is awesome.
Yeah, I mean, if this was Chris and George, Chris seems to be talking a lot less than I would expect, and George seems a lot less irritated than I would expect.
Well,
Yes.
So,
that's
George,
the nice thing
George
about
does appear to be having fun in this photo.
yeah.
That's the nice thing about photographs. If someone closes their mouth, even for a fraction of a second, you can catch it on camera.
Gotcha. Nate, your thoughts on this one?
Yeah, it's a beautiful setting. Kevin nails these outdoor shots, like you said. And what's I think wonderful about this too is a lot of those outdoor shots, like they give away sort of the scale. Like there's a giant leaf or blades of grass or something, and this is perfect because the setting and the scale fit really well. It's beautiful. Yep, Kevin's such a great dude, and I love the fact that the majority of these people in your shelf selection we spent time with a couple weeks ago. So it's fun to sort of get to be with them again.
For sure. All right, that is it for shelf selections. Did want to pull up a couple comments here. First off, Alexis, which is my daughter, says Darla is the best. To which Dirk replied, "Is Alexis Ackerman the raccoon hunter?" Wouldn't say raccoon hunter because she's not hunting them, but she does take the photos. She did say that's me. So Dirk and Alexis have now met. Alexis, if you aren't aware, Dirk has a new group, the Dumpster Dudes, Dirk's Dumpster Dudes, where you can earn purple trash points by taking pictures of trash and or raccoons or both, which has then caused my daughter, who has just recently moved out, to throw marshmallows in her dumpster on a daily basis, and then take pictures of the raccoons in the dumpster, napping and eating marshmallows and playing with trash, which has earned me many a points that I actually did nothing for. So
good stuff.
So there's that. I did see this comment from Rob says, second release of Thistlethorn should be released with Darla's capes. No offense to the Jessam crew, but Darla's cape or no cape. Listen, CJ and Keithlin do an amazing job. Fantastic. If that's something that Eric ever wanted, by all means, I'm sure Darla would be happy to comply with. But yeah, I mean, CJ and Keithlin, man, they kill it. They do such a great job. Oh
yeah, this set I just put together yesterday. It's so freaking good.
They sold out. Yeah. They sold out.
Sorry. Just trying to.
He's like, no, get off the screen, Nate.
I clicked the wrong thing.
I refuse. Yeah, that's great. They sold out of most of their stuff. I saw, I think by the end of the first day, I think looked like they had nothing. Almost. I bought a hat for my wife and a stuffy for my daughter. So they had a great table, and they sold out of a lot of the stuff that goes with Mythic Legion. So good for them because they do a great job. Nice and wonderful family too.
Oh yeah, their family's amazing, and the swig that she did, the like crocheted swig for the table. Oh, God, that was genius.
They were in my group going around an intern, and when we were in Eric's sculpting session, they were all on one side of the table, and their two kids were right at the front, right next to Eric, and they both fell asleep. They had their heads down on the table during his session. I mean, it was super cute, but
was I in your session?
Where
we did like the
rhino,
like the
with
rhinoceros.
Yeah.
I was falling asleep too, and I kept like nodding off, and I'm like, wake up, like don't fall asleep in front of Eric while he's sculpting. It was so cozy in there.
I love seeing couples there at Legion's Con. I really love seeing families just hanging out together. I think they all built armory figures together in there. It's I love that convention. I love seeing all of the just families coming together and having a good time. So
no doubt.
Beautiful. All right. So I'm
going to say one thing to that. And if you didn't get to bring family with you, like myself, you got to envelop the found family of our Legion's Con, Legion's collectors. So you don't have to bring your own family to have a good time.
That's right.
But you should if you have them too.
and keep in mind, like there's been numerous stories of folks bringing their, whether it's their wife, their kid, whatever, they have no interest in this line whatsoever. And then they go there and they're around the people and all of a sudden they fall in love. and they always want to go back. So
not only do they fall in love, but they end up getting a bunch of free stuff.
I
So
knew you were going to go there. I just knew it. Yeah.
I teased this morning on my wife's going to kill me that I'm bringing my wife. That'd be the last place on earth she'd want to set foot. But
Right.
I don't know. It might be worth convincing.
I still don't think it was old man Kyle's wife's birthday that weekend. I think he was just saying that.
That was
so she
just an
got free
extra.
shit. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
He knows how
Her
to work
birthday
it.
was like 5 months earlier, but he's like, "Oh yeah, it's her birthday. Did you know it was her birthday today? Hey, it's her
Oh my
birthday."
God.
Yeah.
That dude, man, he's
Okay.
a scammer.
Every time I hear someone say it's my birthday, I think of that moment from Thor Ragnarok when Jeff Goldblum's character pops up in the ship and is like, "It's my birthday," and like the fireworks are going off.
All right. Well, we are going to talk about some amazing books, where to get them, what they're all about, talk about that experience. But first, we were supposed to have another person with us tonight, one Emil Wickman, the super Swede. He is a little under the weather. Did talk to him. That actually, I got to hear his voice today because even though he was sick and coughing, he still left a voice message for Darla to sing her happy birthday on Messenger, which totally made her day. It was like, I think out of all the birthday gifts she got, that was her favorite. So did hear from him, but yeah, he's not feeling so hot, but he did leave us a message to share with you folks. And I will pull it up here and Jesse will read it because as we know, I don't read. So Jesse.
My mind was immediately do an accent, but it was going to come out German, and Emil is not German, so I'm not going to do that.
Nope.
Pass.
An encouragement to the viewers: do something nice for someone. A big or small thing doesn't matter. Say something nice. I'm going to assume that means make sure you mean it.
Yeah.
But make art mean it sounds better.
Yes.
Yeah.
Make
So,
sure you have it.
and then before we get into the books, I know this is like both of these books are kind of children's books. They're great for anybody, even people that can't read like myself. But they're kind of directed towards kids. There's another thing out there for kids that I want to make people aware of. I've talked about this quite a bit, but if you haven't heard, Emil also has another book that he did many years ago in Swedish. Last year he converted it to English. He was, bouncing things off of me and Darla. And once he did, he actually recorded it and put it on YouTube. He's got two versions out there. He's got one on his YouTube in Swedish and one in English. And it is one of the sweetest stories you'll ever hear. It's not necessarily Christmas, but it has the heart of Christmas, I will say. And it's not very long. And if you get a chance, to go check this out, give it a like. It has 163 views. It should have a couple thousand views because this thing's amazing. And yeah, it needs to be seen by some more people. So go check that out.
It's Emil all the way, 100%. It's got his personality. It's awesome illustrations, and the text is great too. And just a super quick story about this. When he sent this to me a while ago, I read it and I went to text him, and this is the text, and this isn't going to give anything away. I love the creativity. Tweety, bubbly, bites, stuck on a sticky leaf on a smudgy bush with a little heart emoji. And I get back, not from Emil, but Steve Busciotti that says, "Are you high?" I accidentally sent it to Steven for some reason. And can you imagine getting that text out of context?
Interesting text to get out of nowhere. Yeah.
I'd be like, what the hell? Anyways, yeah, it's a great book.
Yeah, but awesome. It's just a great heart story. So yeah, check that out. And let us know in the comments here, or reach out to us, or reach out to Emil and let him know what you think. But man, that thing, I can't talk that up enough. So
yeah.
I haven't. I'm gonna watch it. Can you pull the picture back up real quick?
Yeah.
This is not in any way meant to be making fun of Emil.
Yeah.
I feel like this little guy looks like Emil. Like if Emil got turned into whatever this is, I read his face in that.
About the eyes.
I can see that. And it's only 16 minutes, folks. Like it's not like this isn't, you don't have to spend the whole weekend on this. 16 minutes, but it's worth it. It may be the best 16 minutes that you spend all week. So
here's how Emil sees Emil. Apparently,
yeah. All right. So next we're going to start getting into you guys' books. No particular orders, just the way that I had it in the slides, or the way that I got them. So starting off, Nate, with the 2 words that saved Christmas, with you and Emil. And I know you guys have been on a few shows, and you talked about this at Legions Con. But can you kind of tell us like the inspiration behind this, how this came together, how you decided to work with Emil and kind of bring this to life?
Absolutely. Yeah. It was, I think between 20 and 25 years ago that I was at work, and it was probably on or near, I don't remember quite exactly, the holidays. And this idea just popped in my head. I don't remember where it came from exactly, but it just popped in my head. And while I was at work, I wrote the first draft of this like real quick. It just poured out of me.
Mm-hmm.
And for some reason, sort of a Dr. Seuss cadence and rhyming kind of scheme was in my mind when I put it down. And I showed it to a few people way back then, and they all loved it and said, "Oh, you got to do something with this." And I never did. I just sat on it for whatever reason. Like way back then, it was probably on a floppy disk or something, and I had some
Wow.
hard copies, thank God. And every once in a while, I'd pull out a folder and look at it, and I had a bunch of scribble notes in it and stuff like that. But so, anyways, I will give credit where credit is due. So in 2021, the first Legions Con I went to, first Legions Con a lot of people went to, because it was really the first
don't
one.
tell me that you're going to do this. Are you really going to do this?
I
They're
gotta do
never
it.
going to see this, right?
Well, that's true. Yeah.
But go ahead, do what
I'll
you
tell
got
the
to do.
story.
Do whatever
So,
clears your conscience.
well, it's part of the story. So,
Yeah.
Emil flew to Michigan. Well, first, the funny thing is, everyone knows the story. He flies to New Jersey, then flies to Michigan, stays over for a week, and then turns around and drives to back to New Jersey. So, anyways, that first year, it was Pete, Jeremy, Steven, Emil, Travis, and myself. And we had a great ride there. We talked about a ton of different things. And Emil had mentioned that he had made that children's book that you had brought up previously.
Mm-hmm.
And so right when he said that, a little light bulb went off in my head, and I thought, oh, I'm going to have to mention this, see if he'd be interested. So I forget it again exactly the timing on everything, but I eventually, did bring it up and said I'd written a book. Would he be interested in seeing a manuscript of it? Of course, him being so gracious, he said, of course. So I sent it to him, and he loved it and said, let's make this happen. It took a couple of years, obviously. And in the meantime, I had updated the text, back when I'd written it. I didn't say any, like social media and texting and stuff weren't around. So I kind of updated some things to make it a little bit more modern. But other than that, it's pretty damn close to its original version. And then I just, we went back and forth on some visual looks to it. But I mostly said, I trust you. I love the many styles that you can pull off. Just, put some stuff down and send it to me, and we'll see what we think. And obviously immediately he nailed the style, and we spent some time laying the book out and deciding what visuals would go with what on what page with what paragraphs. And we finally got to this year, and I just said, the beginning of this year, I said, this is the year we have to finish it. So we put a goal down and started going for it. And along with that, we reached out to Vern, and he was an awesome resource. We had a great conversation with him. He definitely helped us narrow down how we wanted to bring this out to the world. And ultimately, we decided to go through Amazon. Their direct Kindle publishing is a super great way to go if you don't have a ton of time to work on going through a publisher, worrying about distribution, things like that. So it all came together and worked out wonderfully. And I couldn't be more thrilled with how it turned out and the reception it's been getting. And I feel like even though I'd written this so long ago, it was meant to be that it took this long to make it happen, because I couldn't have asked for a better friend and partner and illustrator than Emil. And we're truthfully super grateful we all say how Four Horsemen and this toy line has brought so many people together. It brought us together. So it's just meant to be. And so not only did it bring us together, but it sort of made a sort of built-in community for us to launch this within, which was another sort of bonus with it. So yeah, it's been an awesome beginning. I can't wait to see where it's going to go. I'm going to start, trying to take this into libraries and schools. Vern had a ton of great advice about how to market it and get it out there. And so I'm going to, start really pushing it now that the holidays are coming closer and closer. So that in a nutshell.
How's the response been so far in terms of not only sales, and I'm not expecting numbers, but just, how popular has this been? And then also, what has the response been from people that have actually picked it up and then read through it?
To me, sales have been great. I didn't know when, coming to Legion's Con, I didn't know how many books to bring. You never want to be too short. You don't want to be stuck with a ton of extra. So we sold out what I bought there. I brought a few extra just so I had a few copies that we could, each of us could walk home with both of our signatures on. Cause like you said, it's tough getting someone from Sweden together to do that. So other than that, we ended up selling out 57, I think, copies there. We gave a few to some of the studio. And other than that, I think it's been selling really well on Amazon. And I think the feedback I've been getting from people who've been reading it has been tremendous. I've been super pleased with it. From parents and educators, teachers, grandparents. It's been really heartwarming and great to see. I'm happy that it's been resonating. An idea that I had so long ago. I think it is like you said. It's not just for children. I think it's for all ages, and it's got a good timeless message in it too. And the illustrations they just take it to the next level.
Yeah. So this is one of the pictures from inside. Can you tell us a little bit about that? Like, I know you've already kind of talked about that. You guys discussed what pictures and what paragraphs and how, but like when you saw this come together, is this what you had in your mind beforehand?
To be honest, way back when I had written it, I had envisioned much more of a sort of a traditional, almost like a Hallmark card, style, I guess, in a way. And then when I met Emil and seeing the work that he did, it completely flipped what I pictured it could be. It's just so much more, it's super cute and adorable and inviting. And if you flip through it, Santa Claus, his expressions and his face and even his hair, they change so much throughout it. I just love it.
And is that a little Azar in the corner?
That is indeed. Yeah. So we had talked about, as an homage to the company that again brought us together, the opening spread, there's several figures in there, beyond Mythic and Cosmic Legions. There's a couple more things that we kind of snuck in there. And we had originally planned on doing a lot more sort of Easter eggs throughout the rest of the book, but it's a laborious project or process. The illustrating is. So it was, taking a lot longer than we kind of had figured at first. So we just, landed on where it is, and I think it couldn't have been more perfect in my mind.
Beautiful. And then here's where it's at on Amazon. You can just look it up by the title; it'll pull up. And then you can just order your copy from there. And, we still got time. You guys got a little over a month till Christmas. So, order now and have it there beforehand. And yeah.
I think, and speaking of this, if you can take the time, where we'd be super grateful if you would leave us a review on here. Just giving it, hitting the stars is super simple, but even if you could just take a couple more minutes and leave a written review, the stuff that we've gotten on there so far has been amazing. And for the most part, we've gotten 5-star reviews. For some reason, somebody gave it a 1-star. I don't know if it was I don't know, somebody.
Don't take it personally. People.
I'm not at all. No. But
There's
like
always
for the
somebody
most
out
part,
there.
it's been the reviews have been fantastic. Again, it's filled both our hearts a lot. So, but that does help. And
Well,
Speaking
yeah,
of
and
the
to that point, real quick, like
yeah,
anybody that picked it up at Legions Con, just because you didn't order it through Amazon, you can still go on there and leave a review.
yes.
So yeah, you know, if you picked it up, you read it, you liked it, go on and just give your honest thoughts. So
Yeah, great point. Thanks for that. And when we did first launch this, I know we had sort of a like if you look at the sales, grid, it was really spiked right when we first launched that.
mhm.
But you can through the process of the Kindle Direct Publishing, I can look in and see a bunch of charts and graphs and how it's selling and when it's selling and stuff like that. And it had, in its special niche, children's Christmas books. During that time period, it was like the 11th or 12th most popular, but every book in front of it was like Harry Potter Christmas or
Gotcha.
a Disney Christmas book or a
That
Taylor
tied into
Swift
some
Christmas book.
IP. Yeah.
Yeah, so it was like, I'm like, oh my God, dude, sent this to Emil, super elated that it was up there. I haven't, seen where it is kind of falls in there now, but I'm sure it's, going to have its ups and downs. Another thing that I really do kind of like about it being a seasonal book is that, after Christmas is over, I can just sort of kind of pump the brakes a little bit on the marketing and trying to push this out and everything. So it's nice to sort of have a little bit of break there and just, so you have a little time frame that you can really try and push that. So that's kind of nice too.
Well, and that's why we wanted to get you guys on now. Obviously, seasonal wise, like you want to, this is the time period to hit this stuff. And so we wanted to bring you and Emil on to talk about this one, but then also bring Vern back on, because we had talked to him about his book before. But there may be some people that, either just got in the community or just are finding out about his book that don't have it yet. They didn't pick it up last year. And this is the time to do it. So
yeah, if I could just share one more story. My stepmom has like a women's club that she gets to every once in a while, and she brought a copy and she gave it to someone, and she said this woman just right in the middle of the luncheon just started reading it out loud, and she said she was very skilled at doing that, and she said that people started crying, and this woman said, I'm getting this book, and this is going to be a yearly family tradition now that we're going to read this book every year at Christmas. And just to hear stuff like that, man, it just put me on cloud nine. It's awesome.
That's awesome. Beautiful.
That's really cool.
All right. Well, then we will go into Vern's.
Juan, Diego.
And for anyone watching, there are links to both of these books as well as all these fellas' Instagrams in the description of the show.
Yep. So this is from Barnes and Noble. He got I'm Dreaming of a Brown Christmas on here. Tell I mean, I know Jesse and I have talked to you about here, so we've kind of already got the spiel, but tell the folks how this came together and what went into this.
Yeah, so this is the second book that I've done with my cousin. Our first book was called When Good Fruit Goes Bad, and that was more about eating healthy, knowing that you have value even with your bumps and bruises, and just, how to create less waste. So that was kind of our first endeavor. My cousin and I, we've known each other our whole lives, right? So he's an artist. He used to sing when he was younger, and he's always drawn. He doesn't do that now, but he's always had an epiphany for drawing. So, and he, when we did the first fruit book, we knew we wanted to do a second book, and we weren't sure what it was. And one day he said he was singing in the shower the song White Christmas, which is about snow and the beauty of snow at Christmas time.
Yep.
And he started singing I'm Dreaming of a Brown Christmas, kind of to the tune of it. And he said, oh, and he started thinking about brownstones and hot chocolate and cookies and those kinds of things. And then he said, what if we did a reimagining of that song, talking about all the beautiful shades of brown and white that we see at the Christmas season? And I'm like, that's a really good idea. It's a really good idea for a book. And again, I think the fact that it's a seasonal book is great, because I think I have the same, as Nate said, you kind of focus on it for like 2 months, and then once you hit kind of December, kind of 26, it's like, boop, you don't have to worry about it anymore for another couple months. So we went a little less traditional. For the first book, we did the print on demand, kind of the same way Emil and Nate are doing it. They they kind of print copies for you and they ship them to you, and then you can sell them through Amazon. That's how we did the first book. But this one, as he drew it, he's like, I really want to do a hardcover version. We saw someone's book that had kind of this effect on the front, like a glossy kind of foil stamping. And he said, "Oh, that would be great for the snowflakes." And I was like, "Oh, that would be great, but it's going to be expensive because printing whenever you print books, you have to print them in bulk.
Yeah.
And to print a book like this in bulk was going to cost anywhere from $8,000 to $10,000." And I'm like, "We don't have $8,000 to $10,000." And it was right around 2020 when he first started the illustrations, right when we're in COVID. He's home, he has time to draw, and he was going to try to push to have the book done so we could upload it and have it done for Christmas. And I said, "No, take your time." Once he showed me a couple of the images, I said, "No, take your time with it. We have time. We can miss this Christmas. We'll have many Christmases, ahead of us, God willing. Let's push it to next year." Pushed it to 2021 and decided to do a Kickstarter. And they said, "How much do we need for a Kickstarter?" We asked for $8,000. We asked for, I think, $8,000 to print about 2,000 copies. And we ended up raising $11,000 in 2 weeks to print it. So we were just blown away. I remember getting that email that said, "Yeah, you were funded." And I was like in tears. I was like, "Oh my goodness, we did a Kickstarter." And we did it at the last minute. I was on vacation. He was somewhere else. Like, "We're going to do it. We're going to do it in 2 weeks. And we're going to make it happen. It happens. If it doesn't, it doesn't." We raised the money. We were able to find a U.S. printer, which can be tough, that had kind of competitive prices.
Yep.
Most books are printed in China. So most of the books that you see in bookstores are printed overseas because it's very inexpensive, but you get good quality and they're shipped here. And that's how the industry works. But we said we didn't want to risk missing the Christmas season if we printed it overseas. So we found, I talked to a couple people in that had printed books. They recommended some U.S. printers, had some competitive pricing. We sent them the files and spent months back and forth. Nate, that it takes a while to get the files right, to get the formatting. It took a while back and forth. We weren't sure if the foil stamping was going to come out. And then once you put that down payment, you're like, you really hope you're going to get the right book because they're going to print 2,000 of these. If something's off, you're not really getting a refund. So, or it's going to be tough to. So we printed them. Then it was the waiting game. And we got the books and I opened it up and I was like, "Oh my goodness, we have a book. I can't believe it. We have an actual printed book." And it was such a wonderful feeling. And I think the really, it stemmed from him, singing the song, but it also it was a sense that we just wanted a book that reflected, people of color. You don't see a lot of that in Christmas books in general. And we felt like there was a niche there to have that element, but also we wanted the book to have people of all shades because that's really what reflects my life and how I grew up. I didn't grow up with just Black people, just white people. I had everyone of every color in my life. And we wanted to make sure that people didn't see it as a Black book or see it in that, they say that when you make books, you have either mirror books or window books. A window book is you're looking into someone else's world and you're kind of seeing it from the outside. And the mirror book is more a reflection of who you are. And I think this is a little bit of both because it has a little bit of everyone and everyone can relate to hot chocolate and cocoa and all those fun things about Christmas. And we still wanted to keep the spirituality of the season and have, talk about Jesus. And we wanted that part to be part of it as well. We didn't want it to just be talking about presents and that kind of thing. So
I will just say that this is a book that obviously I'm not brown skinned, but I have picked this book up. I read it with my family, read it with my wife and my kids, and it's a great book. Like it is. You're like you said, it's a good book for anybody. Whether you're whichever side of that you're on. It's just an amazing book. So yeah, totally echo that.
Thank you. And there was just once he started doing the illustrations, I said, "Oh, this is." Magnificent. He's just a great artist. We have two very different styles, but he can do kind of the photorealism. I said, let's take our time with it. And then we were fortunate enough. I don't think I sent you the link, but most of your fans probably know Keith David.
I do. I've got right here.
Yeah. So Keith David, who was connected to me through my father, through some random kind of occurrences. I think everything has a reason. My dad one day said to me, "Have you ever, who Keith David is?" I said, "Yeah, he's Spawn. He's Goliath. Of course I know who he is." He mixed him up with David Keith, who's a totally different actor. No, it's not David Keith. It's Keith David. He said, "Oh, why don't you send him a copy of the book and see if he's interested in it at all?" And it happened to be that he needed to do a reading for a foundation that he works for, where they have readings done for I think student adults with not amnesia, with memory issues like dementia and some other issues like that. Yeah, Alzheimer's. I'm sorry, Alzheimer's. Yeah, so it's a foundation that he does readings for, and he got the book and said, "Oh, I'll read this book for it." So that's how we got him to record him reading the book. And my cousin Steve again wrote this original song about "I'm Dreaming of a Brown Christmas," and then we married it together with Keith David reading the book. So we're able to create this really amazing piece that focuses on just the beauty of the season, and it was just a really fun project to work on. And, we hopefully can do more books, but this is one that, much like the other book, every Christmas is going to come, and you're going to hope that you get some more sales and increase your audience. So it was great to talk with Nate about this and, to talk about different things and to talk with him and Emil about just creating a book and the process and how it works and how it doesn't work and things you can do. And it's been a lot of fun.
Yeah, I mean, and what an iconic voice to have read a book of yours. Like that's just super cool.
Yeah.
I gotta say, I've not listened to it, but I know his voice. And this is probably gonna sound weird before it gets good. So bear with me a second here because I'm awkward when I talk. His voice, even though he was like Goliath and like other characters, like his voice is not the voice I think of when I think of Christmas initially. But after reading this book and looking at the pictures,
it fits.
because he's played so many like hard ass character, he's been such so like that does not pull me in. But like now imagining him reading these words, like it's like audible hot chocolate. Like it's just like it's making me feel
comforting.
Cozy when I turn the fire on. And just like it
totally like I've gone through and watched this reading. And it's just like, man, I just want to sit by the fire and just like it's
get all cozy, right?
It's really good. Which makes me kind of question Emil and Nate, like, when are we getting the audio book? Because some people can't read. Just saying.
I'll make some calls, Nate.
Yeah, exactly. But no, that's
Nate,
awesome.
Who would you want to read your book if you could pick a celebrity voice?
Is Bobcat Goldthwait still around?
That would be great. Perfect. Yeah.
Oh God, I don't know, man.
He still does voice work. He really does.
The 2 words. The same Christmas.
That's super soothing and relaxing, right?
Oh yeah.
That's a good question. I don't know. I'd have to think about that.
Well, I know, Vern, that your book still is on Amazon. A lot of the ones that I saw on there were like used copies though, and this is the link that you sent us for people to be able to find your book. And you said this is the hard copy, right?
Yes, the hardcover. So the paperback is always on Amazon because that's kind of a print on demand process, which we like to make available. But this is the hardcover. It's kind of carried by a local kind of distributor, so we like to kind of send people their way just because they're storing our books, and we like to get them some business. So people want to go to it's Okabee's. It's just like a local guy who actually has a lot of his own books, and he has a storage facility. So a lot of small authors, you'll see a lot of books on there that you might not even see in the bookstore, and he carries mostly hardcover, some paperback, but a little bit of everything. So
that's awesome.
It's really cool.
Beautiful.
Yeah, Christopher Walken. Yeah.
These 2 words. I'm sorry.
Totally.
So want to talk to you guys a little bit about just kind of like the emotion behind these books, and like what growing up were you guys big into, whether it's Christmas movies, Christmas books, like what is it about this time of season, this time of year, that made you guys feel the need to kind of write a seasonal type book? And we'll just kick it off with Vern, since you had the first book. Like tell us a little bit about your history with this type of season.
Christmas has always been a big one for me. I grew up kind of an only child. I had a half sister, but I didn't grow up with her, so it was pretty much just me and my parents at home. And it was always with Christmas. I knew all the presents were for me, so I'm like, it's Christmas. I know Santa's coming and every present is going to be a couple from mom and dad, but the rest is for me. And it's always been a time of family. Most of my family was local. So we go to, even my cousin Steve, he lived in Queens. I would spend summers with him. So him and I grew up like brothers. And my mom was always big into just big bags of gifts and the same thing. And now that I have kids, we have to kind of rein her in. Like, you can't just bring a garbage bag full of toys. It's just too much. It's too much, Mom. So Christmas has always been just a big celebration time for us, for me. And it's been the same thing with my kids. And I think just when we were thinking about next books to do, we was looking at what isn't out there. We were trying to figure out what hasn't been done. And you don't want to do something that's too outlandish, but this kind of fit in a nice way that allowed us to really be thoughtful about the words. It was kind of a reimagining of the song, so it kind of had a sing-songy cadence to it. And my cousin's a singer, so that's kind of how he writes. And it just seemed like a fun book to do, And it was as we were looking at the opportunity to do it in hardcover, we said, hey, that's we can get it to be that good, then maybe stores will carry it. That's why Barnes and Noble carries it. That's why certain will carry it, and some places don't carry it because they're just like, oh, we don't think there's a market for it, we don't buy books that way, whatever. But it's always nice to have something that you think, just like Nate's book, every year someone said, I'm going to read it again. It's going to be kind of something that we're going to sit around as a family and read. I'm going to put it up on the mantle, and I've heard people say that, or I've seen, oh, I love this book, this kid looks like my kid, or oh, is that you in the book? So it's just a wonderful feeling when people see what you've created and they just appreciate it. And I think for something that's Christmas related, as someone who takes Christmas, I enjoy it. Sometimes I think I take after my mom because I'm also into getting a lot of gifts for the kids, but also enjoying that time together. We're doing more game time. We're doing more time just together, reading, that kind of thing. And not necessarily making it about the toys, making it about time together, reflecting, talking about the season, being thankful for having a home, having food on the table, and those kinds of things. Because you get caught up in, I got to get the biggest present, and it's like, it's not about that. You could lose all this tomorrow, and then what do you have? But at least you have each other, you have your health, and you have your time together. Then you have that's kind of the greatest gift of all. Not to sound corny, but that's really what it's about. And we wanted to create something that would be, in a book sense, everlasting. That we outlive us, and hopefully people will be reading this, for many, many Christmases to come. So
that's awesome.
That's excellent. Yeah.
What about you, Nate? Kind of history with Christmas and growing up, and were you big into the books, movies, anything like that? Any kind of traditions?
Oh yeah. I mean, I Christmas is my favorite time of year. Love it. Love the Christmas movies, Christmas traditions, getting together with family. Something that we started, maybe it's got to be at least 6-7 years ago, was a new tradition my immediate family, my wife and kids, started. Was on Christmas Eve, we make my wife makes a big stir fry, so like a Chinese dinner, and we watch A Christmas Story.
Ooh.
So that's been a fun new tradition. But books have always been a big thing in our house. I'm a big reader, and my kids grew up loving books, getting books. And what's kind of special about the Christmas books is, like we were saying earlier, you have this, small little window to enjoy them. They get packed up. So every year, kind of as you're getting out the Christmas decorations, decorating the tree, that was, in the movies and this, Christmas music, that was the other big bin that we would get out, was the Christmas books. And the kids just loved, getting back into them. And they still do. So that was, I guess, kind of in my mind too. And to me, it's a big part of what you were saying too, Vern. It's, I think, starting with Thanksgiving and it rolls right through the holidays. It's a great time to reflect on being grateful what you have, practicing gratitude. So that was not to give away exactly what the two words that say Christmas, contrary to popular belief,
Curtis
it's not
Ackerman.
Curtis Ackerman. But it's, so I guess, when I originally wrote this, I'd, like I said, maybe if it was so long ago, I maybe had a 4-year-old and a 2-year-old, or maybe a little bit older than that. So I was thinking about kids and how they should grow up learning to practice gratitude. And at the time, I think, we were seeing a big shift in culture where people were super entitled and it was, really kind of driving me crazy. And we were losing sort of an old fashioned practice of, I'm not going to say it because it would totally give away the ending of the book, but you'll read it and you'll see what I mean. But yeah, so I think, kind of putting all that together, it was sort of the impetus and the idea behind it. And the one thing I do remember thinking when I did this idea did pop in my head, it was essentially the ending. I envisioned visually how I wanted the payoff, the punchline of this book to be, and I just sort of backtracked from there and wrote to it. So that's that. I guess that was the main impetus for it. But yeah, I love the season. Love everything about it. Yeah.
And that's I wanted to interject real quick. When I read it at the studio, I read the title and I said, I know what the ending is. Because I was thinking, because in my head, I mean, I'm not going to give it away, but in my head, I was like, I bet I know what it is. Because as someone who has kids and that kind of thing, I was like, oh, that's like brilliant. It's a great way to end, to have it end on that. And I was like, I guess it. I was like, yes, I was so happy. But it's, it's just the book is just a warm sentiment and everything about it is great. So I think it's
thank you so much, Vern.
Pretty awesome.
Yeah, it's been fun when I, kind of going along over the years of doing this and, telling people what it is.
Yeah.
Even if I didn't have the book on, oh, you wrote a book, what's it called? And I'd tell them the name of the book and I'd be like, can you guess what it is?
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of people couldn't, which I was actually glad about. I want it to be a surprise. So
yeah, no,
I mean, if you do get it, that's great. If not, I love it being a surprise too.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah. I mean, for me, I love this time of year. We were just talking about this on OffWorld Friday. Like I just watch as many Christmas movies as I can. I just load up.
Yeah.
I know some people get irritated with the, songs at the stores and all this kind of, dude, not me. Like give me all that shit.
Yeah.
Because like, sometimes there's some ugliness in this world. There really is. And I think this time of year, you start to see that even some of the people that are ugliest on the inside, they can turn around this time of year. And just, so whether it's through books, through movies, whatever, just kind of hearing and seeing these stories, it makes you feel like, hey, even when I'm not happy with myself, even when, I think I could be better, it gives you that inspiration to want to be better, to want to be a better person, to want to give and care and do that nice thing for somebody or reach out to somebody and just say, hey, how you doing today? How's everything going? Is you doing all right? Just caring for one another. Kind of like, you were saying, Vern, it's getting gifts is cool. But giving gifts, like giving stuff to your kids, to seeing your kids open something that just makes them light up, or to your wife or whatever, like giving is so much even better than getting.
1,000%, especially if you can reach out to those less fortunate. I mean, that's another thing that we've really pushed in our household is reaching out, especially this time of year, and helping others out.
Yeah, my kids are in Scouts, all three of them. I have two. I have a 11-year-old boy and boy-girl twins who are 9, and they're all in Scouts. And Saturday morning, I had kind of forgotten to tell them that they had an event that they had to go to from 10 to about 1, where they were serving food at kind of a clinic for women and children. And they were like, we never get to relax. We never get to do that, whatever. I'm like, you'll have time to relax all summer. You'll be fine. so I'm like, but they got up and they did it. And we got some great pictures. And people said your kids were great. They were helpful. And like, that's the kind of stuff that you hope they do now, but will carry into their adult life or carry into this next year. So sometimes people tend to, I'm doing it for Christmas. And then January hits and they're back to being a curmudgeon or whatever. But you hope that it carries over and that they're still doing things and they're about other people. And that's really what it ends up being about, because you can end up being down in your luck too. Things can happen to you where you need a helping hand, and you hope that you kind of realize how good it is to have people that are willing to kind of reach out and be there for you.
100%.
Yeah. I mean, I've said numerous times about our community, the Mythic community, just that you should be putting in more than you're taking out. And I think that's really more for life in general. Like, in this world, are you giving more than you're taking? And can you be a better person? Can you do just a little bit better? Can you help one more person? because we only have so much time on this earth, and you know, like, how are you using it, and are you making the people around you better? So yeah, it's great. I love both your guys' books. I love just the vibe that you guys decided to do these things and you know, bring a little bit more of that to the world. So
oh, thank you, Joe.
Joe, awesome. And I got it. This is funny because obviously the running joke, one of the running jokes among many in this community, is that Trevor and I are twins, and I mean, it's funny because it's true in a lot of ways. And I swear to God, I just looked over at the comments here, and I was going to shout this out, that I wanted Malcolm to read my book. It did pop in my head while we were talking, and Trevor beat me to it. He says, "Your move, Nate. Malcolm is available." So once again, we were thinking the exact same thing.
I did want to pull this up. Curtis, Joe says Curtis has been replaced by a pod person. This is Christmas Curtis, Joe. So
Christmas Curtis.
Get used to it.
Christmas Curtis.
For the next month or so, this is what you got. So
boy.
So he's nice. He's speaking of Trevor. He's nice for the week leading up to and during Legion's Con, and then there's Christmas Curtis. Nice.
Yep.
We got this from Trevor. Speaking of giving, I have an extra copy of each of these for a giveaway if you want. I don't know if he's talking about for you guys or if he's offering it for this show tonight. Trevor, chime in.
Oh, that's awesome.
All right. Thank you.
Beautiful. And also let us know, are you talking about a copy of each as like one giveaway so one person gets both, or two separate giveaways? Let us know.
Cookie has several questions for me. I'll talk to him next week.
I mean, it is Cookie and Darla's birthday. So I guess if
Cookie.
they have questions, just hit us in the chat and we'll definitely ask those.
No,
so you don't even have to super chat. So.
Don't be scared about Curtis. Just don't recommend any deep, serious movies for the next 2.5 months.
Yeah. I got hit with that last year around this time. I got like a really deep, like, you know, kind of like one of those like thought-provoking, not feel good. The opposite, whatever feel good is, it's the opposite of that movie. And it was like,
terrible.
Man, I do not want to watch this right now.
Hopefully by the time you got to the end of it, it was feel. To be fair, it was just have you ever on that we used to do on OffWorld, and it was not stipulated that it needed to be a holiday or feel good movie.
It definitely wasn't.
I didn't know this about Curtis last year, and it was just the next one I wanted to recommend because it means a lot to me. And it went over like walking across a whole pavement of hot coals.
Yeah.
Do you guys have a favorite Christmas movie or a favorite Christmas song?
Let's hold that thought.
Okay.
I will just jump in while he's getting ready to do that, because I gotta say it, like Scrooged, Bill Murray. And I talked about this on OffWorld, but every Thanksgiving we do our Thanksgiving dinner, and then immediately afterwards we watch Scrooged as a family. And anybody that has never seen the movie, or even if you have seen it, you would hate watching it with us because you can't hear the movie. We're all saying the lines over each other. Like every one of us in the family can quote the entire movie. And then the ending of that, if you've never seen it, the ending of it, a lot of that was improvisation by Bill Murray. And that last speech that he gives, I am not ashamed to admit that I cry every single time. Like every single time I bawl like a baby listening to that speech at the end. So even if you don't want to watch the movie, just Google speech at the end of Scrooged or something and watch that, because I tell you what, you'll leave there going, man, I want to do something awesome for somebody. So
that's cool. I saw it when it came out, and I haven't since, so I'll have to revisit it. I
remember seeing it on the big screen. I've seen it a couple times. It's one of my favorite movies of me and my cousin. Especially there's the Richard Burton scene when he's at the homeless shelter. And he's like, Sir Burton, he's like, do it for me. He's like, he makes up some Shakespeare.
Yeah.
this I swear. He's like, get on. It's like there's so many crazy, and just the visuals are nuts, and like how it's just it's a great movie. Yeah,
it's a very unique take on the whole Scrooge thing. And it's very period piece because it's like in the 80s, like
Yeah.
like one of the
Yeah.
like in part of the movie. This doesn't give anything away, but like the big gift that somebody gets is like a VHS recorder, and it's like, oh man, that's like expensive. That's like crazy.
Whoa,
You know, right? So there's definitely some stuff that doesn't hold up,
Yeah.
but yeah,
It's fun
absolutely
though.
love it.
Yeah.
So, and we will get to your guys's, but I think Jesse's already started the giveaway for Trevor. Says one giveaway, both books. So somebody gets both of your
Yep.
guys.
Ooh, look at that.
Awesome books. We are collecting those now.
That's awesome.
And
Trevor.
real quick, Uncle Bob said that there is another birthday, and that is little Miss Rosie Cotton. So their younger puppy.
Oh,
That you
nice.
got to meet at their shop. They have two sweet little dogs that are very well behaved and adorable. That's the main reason I occasionally buy toys there, but I mainly go to see the dogs. Happy
He
birthday,
also
Rose.
said earlier that while we were doing this, they went and bought both your guys' books, and they will need you guys to sign them. So that's awesome. If there's anybody else out here watching this that, you know, if your heart has grown 3 sizes, go out and buy these books if you haven't already. So
buy several, give them away as gifts.
Yeah, exactly. They make great gifts.
Unlike Scrooge, Curtis's heart shrinks 3 times, you know, on January 1st. So it has to regrow 3 sizes every year.
Just to get to normal person size. Yeah.
I'm just kidding, Curtis.
Yeah.
He doesn't want people to know it, but he has a heart of solid gold.
He's crusty on the outside and all smushy and gooey on the inside.
Yes.
Okay,
like an
I'll take
avocado.
that.
Wait,
What about you guys? What go-to Christmas movie?
Christmas Story was always the one for me. I think because when it's almost like Shawshank, where they started playing it all the time, and I was just like, what is this crazy movie? And I saw it, and I was like, you'll shoot your eye out, and the whole thing, and the tongue scene on the railing. He's like, come back. It's like this. I mean, then they do the 24-hour thing on Christmas, so that was the one that always just Christmas after Christmas Day, we just kept playing it, and I was like, this is a great movie. I can sit here and watch it. And the leg ornament, you know, the whole thing, fragile. Every time I see something fragile, I have to say fragile. It must be
100%. Yeah.
Every time.
You can't even say it normal. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. I never say fragile. I say fragile, you know?
Yeah.
So, national award.
Yeah.
So that's where I go. That's my go-to one.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That's cool. Nate?
Yeah, like I said, that's become a tradition. Love Elf. It's so good. That's another one we always work in there. And then it's not a movie, but I love there's a couple of them by Pixar. The Prep and Landing. They're like, you know, just the little animated ones that I think are so freaking clever and well done. But yeah, as far as movies, I'd have to say Christmas Story and Elf are probably top 2.
Nice. Jesse?
Okay. Let me say this out. Call me Scrooge if you want, but let me get this out. I have a hard time with Christmas movies. I'm not saying I don't like them. I don't like them as much as Curtis. Like, they have to really be very specific and land a certain way. Now, I don't have like a checkbox of what they need to be, but they have to hit certain things to connect for me. Like, if it's just, you know, obviously I'm not talking about Hallmark movies or, you know, whatever. That's just straight up, you know, cotton candy fluff. They're garbage.
Whole nother genre. It's fine.
Yeah, not garbage. I shouldn't say garbage. Not for me. But I do have a couple that I really like. I have a very small list of Christmas movies that I really like. And at the top of that list is it's an animated movie called A Wish for Wings That Work. It's Opus the Penguin and Bill the Cat from the old Bloom County comic strip.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
Never heard of that, but I'm very familiar with those characters.
Bloom County.
So
yeah.
Opus, he's a penguin, he can't fly, and that's all. Like, his whole thing is he wants to fly, and it's, you know, it's a weird cat. There's a whole scene where he goes to like Flightless Birds Anonymous, where it's like him and a kiwi, and this little kiwi bird is like screaming how his like wife left him for an albatross, and like all this stuff. And he's like a huge wingspan. I think it was Robin Williams did that character, but anyway, but as far as like other movies go, I do like Scrooge. I watched that for the first time, I think last year, the year before, based off of Curtis's recommendation. But I really like Krampus. and Last Christmas.
Right on.
Krampus, I'll say this. I was getting, because I was working retail at the comic shop, and I was getting burned out by the shopping season of Christmas. Not as much as someone who maybe works in a mall or a Walmart can get burnt out by it. Because like those
retail
people
this time of year, man.
Yeah, that's cool.
endure a lot of crap. But like, I didn't have, all my friends had like kids and families, and I'd go to like my siblings' house for, and like it's like 3.5 hours of watching their kids open presents. Not that I needed anything, but it's like, man, I'm just here's a cup, cool. Like, but like it was just this weird moment. But then I saw the movie Krampus, and that whole opening scene, and the whole, I don't know if you guys have seen it, but the whole movie opens up with like kind of like that Black Friday shopping spree where people are like pushing, and not like violent, not like what was the Thanksgiving one where it's like people are dying, but like people are like punching each other to grab like the stuff out of the, and I was like, but it's all over, like it's like kind of slow motion and all over, like it's beginning to look a lot like Christmas, I think. And it was just ironic of enough twist that I'm like, man, I like Christmas again. Like,
I'm in.
All right.
Like, obviously I didn't want to endure that, but like there was something about it that just hit me the right way. And the message of that movie, even though it's kind of Gremlins-y, kind of horror-y in a way, horror. Let me make sure I said that right. But yeah.
Call out some of the folks in the chat. Cookie says National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation all day. Drunk Gizmo says Muppet Christmas Carol. Trevor says Scrooge with Albert Finney.
Another classic.
Pink Lemonade, Grinch, all three.
Yeah, I mean, I love the original. Yeah, the Christmas specials. You gotta love the original. Rudolph and Grinch and Charlie Brown.
Charlie Brown.
Yeah.
Yep.
There's a great one on Netflix called Klaus, I think it was called.
Oh yeah, that's good.
Well, I thought it was really good. I didn't know where it was going to go or what it was. I knew what it was about, but I was pleasantly surprised. I enjoyed it.
Uncle Bob says the Rankin and Bass stuff is the best.
Yeah.
G also said National Lampoons.
Yeah.
Then we got a super chat from Rob Zamora, says Scrooge. I'm not sure which one, but we'll see.
I have one more I have to add.
Sure. I got two more. Hold on.
Gremlins.
Fam Home says traditional movies for me: Christmas Vacation, Gremlins, Muppet Christmas. Tanya says Die Hard, which we can have a discussion on that. To me, that doesn't meet my criteria for Christmas movie, but I don't fault anybody that it does. So, but go ahead, Jesse.
Oh, Rob was calling me a Scrooge. Look, I love Christmas.
Gotcha.
I love
Scrooge is his favorite.
Christmas. I love the season. There's just the movies. I do like. What was it? Violent Night. I thought that was great.
I never saw that, but I
haven't seen it yet either. Yeah, it's actually
good.
And people can have different definitions of what they think a Christmas movie is. Is it just that it's during Christmas time? Do they have to? For me, it's a feeling. Like I watch it and it makes me want to be a better person. That's a Christmas movie. So. I don't get that when I watch Die Hard. I don't get that when I watch Gremlins. I don't like that. Like you could say Rocky 4 is a Christmas movie because it's set during Christmas time. I don't leave that feeling inspirational and want to go out and help people and do better things and be a better person. So that doesn't fit that criteria for me. So.
I'm 100% with you, Curtis, on that. Like I love Die Hard, and I don't blame people for wanting to watch it at Christmas time, or if they want to consider it a Christmas movie.
Yeah.
I've gotten softer after rewatching it. It's not as Christmas themed. I wouldn't consider it a Christmas movie, but it has more of a Christmas theme to it than I used to think it does. Not a huge lot, but the one I want to add is Home Alone.
Oh, of course, yeah, Home Alone
for sure.
It's it's crazy, zany, and all that stuff. But the finale when
the old man,
that part. But when the mom comes through the door, and he sees her at the I'm just getting goose. Like I
get goosebumps.
That moment just
where he looks like he's gonna be angry, but then all of a sudden he,
yeah.
And then the
Or
old
get
man next
music
door,
and-
when you see the old man get to hug his granddaughter and stuff, it's like,
Yeah.
dude, shut up, just shut up.
And that,
I'm not
the
crying,
whole-
you're crying.
Turn
I
off the
love,
show. Yeah.
Totally.
I love the
Uh,
scene when he goes into the church and
Mhm.
his neighbor is there and they have that conversation.
I
and
love
the
that he
kids are
talks to
singing.
him like a normal person. Like he doesn't talk to him like he's talking to a child.
Little
You know,
kid,
they just
yeah.
have a normal conversation. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. And then just how that turns into the Carol of the Bells, like as he runs
Yep.
back home to like set up, like I just, that one's great.
Yeah.
That's one I watch almost every year.
That's a good one.
While I'm decorating.
Joe Vasapolo says Batman Returns. Anyway, I love Batman Returns. I do watch it during this time of year, but once again,
Not a
does
Christmas
not
movie.
hit me with that feeling.
Nope.
Alberto Morales says Black Christmas. One Darla Ackerman jumped in, says Nutcracker in the Four Realms is a sweet one. So
Was that the Disney one a couple years ago?
That's the most it's pretty recent.
Now I know this isn't a Christmas movie, but I feel like it's Christmas adjacent. Planes, Trains, and Automobiles, because it's more Thanksgiving.
Yes.
But it's like I only saw that recently. Like I saw it about 10 years ago.
That's
And
so good.
This is a magnificent movie.
Yes.
The
Those
rental
aren't
car
those.
scene. I was like, what is happening? There's so much cursing.
I'm gonna watch that for the first time this year.
Oh, it's so good. It's one of my
amazing
wife's
movie.
favorite movies.
Yeah.
It's so good.
Yeah.
We've got Brian says, if you don't feel inspired to foil international terrorists attempting to steal money after Die Hard, that's not. Sorry, that's. Let's see. Kevin says that's funny. I feel Christmassy, warm and fuzzy every time I say yippee ki mf'er.
Okay.
Well, there you go. That's
Each
something.
their own. Yeah.
And Juan Diego Rincon says, my generation has a discussion where people are not sure if Harry Potter 1 is a Christmas movie or Halloween.
Oh,
So,
it's neither.
Yeah.
It's neither, because I'll say, where am I?
I don't know. Your camera went off.
There are Christmas scenes in every Harry Potter book and most of the movies.
Well, they're over. They're like in the school year, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, they're gonna have
Like Lethal Weapon is set at Christmas. That is 100% not a Christmas movie. You can maybe convince me to accept some of it for Die Hard, not Lethal Weapon.
I missed this one from Joe. He says Muppet Christmas Carol has been his favorite Christmas movie forever. That being said, Joe also says that he's only seen like 27 movies his entire life. So, you know, take that with a grain of salt. So, Steph says Strange Brew.
Oh,
That's set in
man.
Canada.
Take
Is
off,
that
you
a
hoser.
Good movie. Yeah.
Hoser.
The one last year that Sean hit me with that I had never seen before that I absolutely loved. I fell in love with Love Actually.
Oh yeah,
that dude.
Still haven't seen that.
I haven't either, man. My sister talks that up constantly, and I haven't.
Dude, I was
50-50
expecting
if that's Christmas.
nothing good. I went into that like this is gonna be terrible.
Right.
I freaking love that movie. It is so good. It's in my top 5.
Yeah.
So
Oh,
I love
Wonderful
the old
Life.
classics too, Tom. White Christmas.
A Wonderful Life. We haven't
Wonderful
mentioned
Life. Totally.
Yep.
Yes.
Yep.
Have to watch
which was
that.
a flop when it came out. It was like a 10,
Yeah.
and then it started playing on like channel 11, and it was every year they kept again. These movies
like
just
you said,
had-
it was. Yeah.
So
Dirk says Christmas Chronicles with Kurt Russell's pretty solid. I do like those. Those are
good. Yeah.
I've seen that.
I saw the first one.
Yeah. So
I haven't seen.
But you know what? I can watch the Hallmark ones too, regardless of what Jesse says. So
I said I don't like him. I took it back.
24
I
hours.
realized I overstepped.
Yeah.
I can't watch A Christmas Story. I will never watch that movie again.
No.
Wow. Okay.
I'm not saying it's bad. I grew up and it was one of those things like I wasn't allowed to watch it when I was little because so I'd catch like a bit of it here and there. They're like, you'll shoot your eye out. Like I'd catch a moment here and there.
I think
Look, hold on.
Go ahead.
But when I finally got to watch it, it was when they started playing it for 24 hours a day on TNT. And that was like the only movie channel I could get in the basement where I watched movies. Not this house, my childhood home.
No judgment.
And I hated it because I'm like, I want to watch something other than this one movie for the next day.
You got repulsed by it because it was on so much.
You know what? When they did the sequel, what was that? A couple of years ago, I was so worried that was going to be and I think they did really good job with that.
I was just going to say the same thing. That is one of the best sequels. I think they brought in enough of the there was enough of the callbacks to the original, but it was still its own movie. And they did a great job.
It started like real questionable. I'm like, man, I think it's going to turn out how I thought it was going to turn out. It ended up being really good.
Yeah. I loved it.
If you're a fan of the original, I'd totally recommend seeing it.
Okay. Cookie with a nice heartful message says Christmas Chronicles 2 has that stupid kid from Deadpool 2 in it. I hate that kid. Merry Christmas.
Oh, that's my Cookie.
There he is.
Happy birthday, Cookie. So, yeah. Trevor says my wife loves White Christmas. Haven't seen it, so I have seen it so much that I've started to like it. Okay,
and that's with Bing, is that with Bing Crosby?
Yeah,
Bing Crosby and Danny Kaye.
Yeah. Okay. My wife puts that one on every year, and I think I fall asleep about 15 minutes into it. So, not that it's a bad movie. It's just like it's just not my thing.
Bing Crosby's got that kind of voice, so it's okay.
Yeah. Awesome. So, what else is in the works, guys? I mean, you guys. So, Vern, you got 2 under your belt now, right? And Nate, this seems like this has been pretty successful with you and Emil. You guys got plans for something coming up?
Well, it's funny. It's like when you've got like a 2-year-old or something. It's like, so when you having another kid, it's like automatic. It's like, I can't tell how many people been. Oh, we love your book. What's the next one? Have another one. I'm like, I have zero thoughts about it. So, but this, we'll see how this goes for the next couple of years. In the meantime, maybe kind of keep my brain in that sort of atmosphere, and who knows? I'd love to continue to do stuff with them, but I have zero notions or thoughts or ideas. I haven't given it one iota of thinking towards it at all yet. So,
well, I gotta say, you and Emil made a very good pairing. So even if it's not another book, if you guys do something else, I'm in there for it. So.
Well, we are doing a cabaret show. That is
very nice. Yeah, sign me up. Is that going to be at MesquiCon?
Yeah, as a matter of fact, it will be. Yeah, so be ready. Yep.
Vern, what about you?
So yes, Steve and I, we probably have a list of 50 book ideas, like something we just write down, but we never get to.
Nate's got none. Can you give Nate a few? Can you slide a couple his way?
Exactly. Take these 25.
Here are the 2 that we really don't like.
We'll take your scraps.
So, we write, it'll be a silly thing. Oh, about an ostrich that can do calculus. We'll write something down and we'll just put it down and we'll forget about it. So we have a couple ideas that we're throwing around, but I think one of the things we're focusing on, again, with the Christmas book is just trying to get it so that it can be, every year you keep building on the sales. So it was like, okay, this year we sold this many, this year we didn't sell as many. What happened? Whether it's getting it to influencers, is it getting it to the right person who can get it to the right person? And then, we want 10,000 copies, that kind of thing.
Right. Tom Hanks just bought the rights to it.
Exactly. That's what you want, right? Keith David's going to make a movie out of it, whatever. So, so we'll see. So right now we don't have anything kind of set in stone, but we always have we're always writing ideas down and kind of keeping ourselves thinking about. And usually what happens is we'll go through the list and say, oh, we feel hot about that one, and we'll start writing, that kind of thing. But anytime you have an idea, you want to make sure that if you like it, focus on it and really work on it, because, as creatives, you can be working on a custom and then all of a sudden you get a head that you saw at Legion's Con and you're like, oh, I'm going to work on that one. And this custom's sitting there like, what am I, chopped liver?
Right. What happened? That have been sitting in a pile for a year and a half. And then like something else comes along. It's like, oh, that got moved to the top of the list and the other one's just sitting. Yeah.
It gets moved.
It's like that girlfriend meme where the guy's looking back at the other,
Right. Yeah, exactly. Where's the love? Hey, you were just all about me. Now you don't care. So, so we'll see. We're just going to keep plugging along and see about getting more, again, just like the other book, trying to get more traction with it and get more people seeing it and, keep the sales up.
You guys have both kind of mentioned about like maybe, like getting them into some schools and things like that. Like what have you guys done, work in that space, and have you had much traction with that?
Well, I did, when I first did the fruit book, I did a lot. I'm actually doing a school reading on Tuesday at a school called the Gibbs School, amazingly enough, which is kind of funny. Yeah.
Interesting. All right.
I'm not that big time. Time.
He calls it up as like, by the way, I don't know if you know, but my last name is,
I mean, you
Yeah.
gotta get me in there. So I'm doing a reading and it's gonna be with a bunch of kids, and they pre-ordered a bunch of books, so it's nice. So I can go in there and sign the books and bring them.
Oh, that's great.
So I tend to do, and I used to be a substitute teacher in town, so I know the kids know me, and I kind of do those kinds of readings. So that's usually kind of the way I kind of get out there, and I'll do some readings in the city and different events like that. I did a vendor's fair a couple days ago where I just kind of sold the book and sold some mugs. So that's kind of one of the main ways I get out there. And doing the school stuff is fun because, it's in front of kids and they enjoy it. And I'll play the video for them of the Keith David reading, and the adults will kind of be like, oh, Keith David, I know who he is. And the kids have no idea, but like his voice. So that's it. It's
Awesome.
kind of a fun way to do things.
Awesome.
Yeah, I got, like I said, I'm going to start doing that the next couple upcoming weeks. There's been a few people in the community that said they've bought extra copies that they said they're gonna do that in their hometown, which has been amazing for them to offer up that. It's like, again, talk about being grateful.
Yeah.
But I've got to do that myself, and where my kids went to school and our couple local libraries. So definitely plan on doing that.
Yeah, do the local thing. That's where you're going to get your warmest leads. I mean, I'm a dad in the community. Oh, great. Come in. You want to read?
Yeah.
Your local library, that's kind of where you hit. And then, you grow from there. So, I've hit all the schools kind of in this area. Then I'll go to other schools in neighboring towns and that kind of stuff.
Right on. That's perfect.
Yeah.
Steph says, have you tried Paul Robeson School of Arts? It's local, sort of, near the studio. Non-profit that can give it exposure, maybe. So
okay. Good to know.
Maybe something to check out.
Okay.
Great.
Awesome. Any other things, whether it's shows that you guys are going to that you'll be at, or any other appearances that you guys have coming up that you want to let people know about?
I have a vendor fair coming up on December 4th. It's in Teaneck. It's at a hotel in Teaneck. You can probably find it online. It's like a holiday shop event, pop-ups kind of shop. So that's December 4th. So I can either put it in the chat when I find it, or people can just look it up. It's like a Teaneck hotel holiday shop. If you look it up online, you should be able to do it. And I'll be selling the Christmas book, some mugs. There'll be kids performing, like different caroling and that kind of stuff. And
that's awesome.
But so it's like fun little events like that are kind of nice to do.
Perfect.
Nice. Yeah, I mean, I understand that you've been doing this a little bit longer, but it sounds like you got your shit together a lot better than Nate. I don't know.
I'm learning from Vernon, man.
It's not a competition. It's not
That's why I said we reached out to him right away. Like, we knew.
You got mugs, you got Christmas carolers, you got events scheduled, and Nate's like, I got a book.
Well,
that's where I started. We all started there.
You didn't let me get to my turn. I'm actually flying out to Sweden in 2 weeks because
sure you are.
We're massive over there. We're huge. So we're doing a
huge
whole countrywide tour.
Well, there's only like 50 people in the country, so I mean it's easy to get everywhere there.
Well, the king and queen of Sweden are greeting us. So I don't know if there's such a thing, but
that's funny. Nate, this Monday, you guys going on? You were not on this past Monday, right?
Correct.
Because Trevor was feeling under the weather, but I think you're going live with some newbies.
We are indeed. Yep, tomorrow night on the Legion's Lounge. So tune in 8:00. Yep, I think we've got 3 guests. I think
nice.
3. Yep. Like I said, new to Legion's Con this year, so we're going to be seeing how their experience was and recounting our own too. So tune in, please.
And I mean, I'm available if you guys need me. So
we know that you're always available.
FYI.
That's that's the 2 words that saved Christmas. Just always available.
Yeah. Trevor says 4 guests. So
4 guests. There you go.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay.
And then also they can see you being a badass Minotaur in a Legion's Quest.
Right on.
D&D campaign, right?
Wait to get back into that. That's been way too long, especially coming off the heels of the awesome reveal at Legion's Con, man. So
for sure.
Yeah, I'm super stoked to get back into that as soon as we can figure out whenever that's going to happen. So
did we ever get a picture of all the figures?
Yes,
something happening.
Somebody did, but
Trevor did.
I think we did because Trevor brought my figure back over to me and said, "Sorry, I broke this." So,
yes, it'll be worth it. Trust
I
me.
kind of assumed that he got a photo.
He did, yeah.
Just buff it out. It's fine.
Yeah.
Yes, Rob's gonna be on. Joe's gonna be on. Yeah.
But yeah, if you haven't checked out Allegiance Quest yet, we've got 10 episodes in. It's been a ton of fun. The next one, I think we're supposed to be doing live. It's going to be a big event. Just not sure when. Most likely a week from tomorrow, if I had to guess. But we'll see. We'll kind of figure out some scheduling and get it out there. But yeah, I think we're going to do it live. So that'll be fun.
Okay.
Awesome.
And last I heard, we just stepped upon a graveyard and like a bunch of like skeletons started coming at us and stuff, right?
We got to the outskirts of the town we've been trying to get through, like to set the mission off, and something in the graveyard like looked at us, and all these undead started to rise up.
So it's about to get real. So tune into us and see how
it's gonna have season finale energy.
For sure.
Oh, there's one.
These guys coming at you.
Well, let's see how we're doing on that giveaway. Week from Monday. Trevor is the scheduler. We just all work. It's Trevor world. We're just living in it. So
true.
You know.
Got a couple more seconds, folks. Hashtag bookshelf. If you want to win.
Oh, because we're talking about books, and then we're shooting the shelf, and books also go on shelves.
It's also what I titled the episode. It was Bookshelf with Gibbs, Strong, and Wickman. So hashtag bookshelf, and whoever wins gets one winner gets a copy of both books. The I'm Dreaming of a Brown Christmas by Vernon and his cousin Steve, right?
Steve, yep.
Steven. And 2 Words That Save Christmas, written by Nate and illustrated by the wonderful but under the weather Emil Wickman.
Yep.
Nice.
And there are links to Amazon for 2 Words That Save Christmas in the description, and a link to what was the name of the site?
Okie
Bees. That's linked in there to your direct.
And before we pull that, just a reminder, big or small things, doesn't matter. Say something nice. Okay. Yeah. Mean it. Do something nice for somebody today. Okay.
Yep. I'll start. Doing this book, it not only was a joy and how it came out and everything, but it also just like you guys probably have, Curtis, with you do your Sunday afternoon. I'm
customizing studio.
Thank you. Which he's on quite a bit, right? So this just afforded me a lot of chances to connect with him throughout the year. We do a lot of like FaceTime calls and we had great conversations outside of just the book. So it was an awesome way just to stay in touch with such an awesome dude throughout the year. So the process of creating this was super, super enjoyable.
It does make me a little sick at times at how great Emil is. Like, just sculpting and customizing and painting. And then you talk to him and he's like such a nice guy. And it's like, dude, you're making the rest of us look bad.
Right? Enough for it. No.
Yeah. Come on, man.
We get it.
Now he's showing up. Now he's showing them up all buff and everything.
Yeah,
like,
but then every now and then he shows me this, what he calls the pile of carnage. Which is just like all the figures that he's torn apart and destroyed, and it's just like this massive pile of nonsense that you can't make sense of.
Oh,
it's
the
like,
humanity,
just all these destroyed figures, and I look at it and I go, okay, he has an opportunity. He has one small opportunity, and it's enough for me to go, he's human. It's like when Drago bleeds in Rocky IV. Like it's like he's not a machine, he's a man.
He's a man.
So I'm like Maverick.
But no, we love Emil. Hope he starts feeling better. He is just a great person tonight. On top of being so talented.
Big time.
So get well, Emil. Anything else? Any other niceties that we want to say before we pull this? Jesse, you got something for the group?
I was listening and I was not thinking of nice things to say.
All right, we're gonna go to Vernon. He's a nice person naturally, so maybe it'll be easier for him.
It's true. Well,
that was the opposite of nice, Curtis.
It's not Thanksgiving yet. I still got a few days to warm up.
Let's throw my partner under the bus and go to Vern.
I mean, just it's that time of year. You know, you got Thanksgiving coming up. You have Christmas. Everyone is in different situations, whether it's family, friends, who they're with, and just be cognizant of that and of keep those situations. And you know, if there's someone you haven't reached out to, just even if you text them, say, "Hey, how you been?" They're just thinking about you. Sometimes I'll think of someone that I haven't thought of in a long time, and I'll just shoot them a text. Oh, just thinking about you. How are things? You might not hear from them. You might, but it might be just nice. People love to hear from someone that maybe they haven't heard of, or just know that somebody's thinking of them. So do that this year.
Beautiful.
Do that.
Love it.
For sure. Jesse, you got anything?
Yeah, I said it last week, but I'm going to say it again. You and Joe running Curtis, you and Joe Gonzalez running the shooting the shelf that I missed out on at Legion's Con, and the folks that helped made sure I got food and got back to my room that night and everything. That, like, I'm going to sneeze.
Hop-a-doo. That was Jesse's sneeze noise.
That
I
was
knew he was
me
going to mute himself, so I had to do the noise.
That was good. That was good. That was nice.
Yeah.
It felt, I didn't see it, but it felt timed nicely. You know, like, yeah, this show just started with me just being whatever, like schmuck sitting at my computer wanting to talk about stuff. But like you coming on board has made this a completely different and better than I ever thought it would be. And the fact that you guys like took it and ran with it. And like, I was sad I missed it because I wanted to be a part of it, but I knew you guys would take care of it. And like that, you know, I'm better at typing with a keyboard than I am speaking out loud.
That's all right. We definitely, we made it work, but you were missed for sure. But yeah, man, this has been great. You know, I remember the episode that you were on with David Williams, and there was just like technical issues, and like he was cutting out, and there's problems, and I was like, man, this guy's just like on screen by himself, waiting for the other guy to get back, and he's drowning. Like maybe I can just go on and just chat with him for a little bit. And this is Nate. This is before I was volunteering to be on all these shows. So this wasn't like now Curtis that's just like trying to get some FaceTime. Like I really was just trying to help Jesse out. And
this was Curtis Raffleman era where he was just winning all the prize wheels.
Yeah.
Yes, I do remember that era well.
Yeah. From that till now, it's been awesome. So yeah, Jesse, I totally agree. Like this has been great. So I would totally enjoy it.
Great. You guys make a great duo. It's been an awesome show. And I wanted to say one more thing. Vern, I want to reach out. I just want to say thank you so much for all the advice and the kind words and the wisdom that you shared with Emil and I, and super appreciated. So thanks very much, my friend.
Of course, not a problem. Anytime you need have some questions, let's chat. You know,
that's what this community is about, right? That's
there.
Awesome.
You go. Yeah.
I'm gonna throw this little Easter egg out here.
I wanted to pull this up real quick. Sorry, I missed this one. Santos had said Miracle on 34th Street. Totally agree. I love both the black and white and the colored version. I think both of them are amazing. To this day, I can't tell you which one I like more because I love them both so much, but I watch both every year. So sorry, Jesse,
that's a good one.
No, it's okay. Real quick, couple comments here. Endless Fables. It's great to have friends who can stick by you when you need a hand. 100%. I would not. Yeah. Not trying to get deep, like, I would not be who I am today without that. I'm not trying to say like I wouldn't be here. I just, anyway.
I'll extend my DMs are always open. If anyone want to chat or whatever, needs a shoulder or an ear to bend, I'm here anytime.
DMs is in direct messages, not Dungeon Master. Joe is very limited availability.
Yeah.
I would not.
We got a problem. Joe not Gonzalve it.
Yeah. So. I would never dream of being able to take his position. He's amazing DM.
I think you had one more there, Jesse.
Thanks, guys. You might have restored my faith back in humanity.
Steph.
Great show tonight. Peace. Thank you, Steph.
Right on. That's awesome.
Thank you.
Yep. All right. Well, let's get that giveaway.
All right. Let's run this wheel.
We got up to 25. So awesome.
All right. I'm gonna roll this in last chance. 3, 2, 1, spin the wheel.
Click,
Your
click.
Christmas
And
lights
you-
are so apropos for today's episode too.
On the screen.
Yeah.
Whew.
Ah.
Rob,
Hey, look at that.
Zora.
So
El
Look at that.
Spooky Zorro.
it went from the
Woo.
Curtis era of winning everything to Rob. He's a
Yeah.
that dude's
I think he said earlier he's
winner.
still waiting on his copy from the
Yeah.
debut drop night. So
Yep.
just get in touch with Trevor.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
he'll
Knowing
just hold on to that
Rob,
for
if
you.
he's got 2 copies coming, I'm sure he'll probably be giving one of them away on a show. Maybe even tomorrow
Sure.
night. Tune into Legion's Lounge and see. So
Congrats, Rob.
yeah, that's awesome.
That's what I was gonna say. Vernon, I might be reaching out to you for some input on book publishing.
Very nice.
I am
I
available.
have my big one that I've talked about, but I've got a book, a series of kids books I've been thinking about for a while. And
Absolutely. Let us
Beautiful.
chat. Let's take a time and we'll chat. That sounds great.
yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, cool. All right.
Well, thanks, folks. We appreciate you guys being on.
you
Hope
for the
everybody
invite.
goes out there and just hits up those books nonstop. And hope you guys have a really good season with that, and just enjoy time with your family and friends. So,
Mhm.
You too.
we are going to put you guys backstage, close out the show. If you have to run, we totally understand. But if not, just hang out, and we'll be right with you.
Okay.
All
I
right.
have to pee, so
Yeah, have at it, man. We'll
I'll come back.
stay
But if I'm
mic'd, and
not
we'll
here
throw
when
you
you
I'm
back
not-
on while you're
I'm
in.
not gonna pause. I'm not gonna pause it.
good.
I don't think
Yeah.
that's an option anymore.
All right.
Very good.
We'll see you guys in a second.
Thanks again.
All right.
I'm gonna
That
throw
was
2 things
fun.
up here real quick.
Sure.
Just because these are 2 things I plan on reading in this holiday season. From Dark Horse Comics, 4 gathered on Christmas Eve. It is
Okay.
a collection of kind of spooky stories.
Mhm.
Which I always wondered in that song, like what is it, like the Christmas Carol says something about like scary ghost story, and I'm like, why is that a thing? Anyway, so I'm excited for that. Mike Mignola, Eric Powell, Becky Clune, some great comic artists collaborated on some little collection. And then what I thought initially was going to be the Father Christmas Santa Claus figure we're going to get in Figure Obscura, which I'm happy I was wrong. I got the full collection of Claus, the hardcover comic series. It's a nice big hardcover.
That actually sounds pretty interesting.
It's a very different take on it. It's not the same one as the animated one on Netflix.
Yeah, but he looks kind of badass there.
Yeah, this is something that some other people were also saying they thought would be a cool Figure Obscura, but obviously they wanted to go the literary. So it's a nice big hardcover. It collects. They did several mini series.
I'm gonna have to
So
check that
if
out.
anyone are looking
gonna
for
write
some
that
comic
down.
book type stuff to read, you can probably find those at your local comic shops or various versions of the editions.
I'm actually gonna write that down, Jesse, and it's got words and reading and everything. So
It's a comic book, so there are pictures and color.
very nice.
There are some pictures with no words. Trevor's gonna write a book. Einsick the Elf is dead again. I can just
Very
hear him in the South Park voice. Oh my God, they killed Einsick! You bastards!
So before we get to our guest from next week, huge thanks to Vern and Nate for being on. Sorry Emil couldn't be with us. Go out there, buy their books. If you've already got a copy of their books, buy another copy of it. Give it away to somebody for Christmas. Use it as a stocking stuffer. These guys are amazingly talented, and they're both heartfelt, and have put together heartfelt stories. So, support them, and share this with somebody because they're amazing. Also, check out on Emil's YouTube that Mauritius Treasure that I talked about earlier. 16 minutes. It could be the best 16 minutes that you spend all weekend. So when you're done with this, go check that out. Leave a comment. Let him know what you think, because I think it's amazing. So, but that being said, we got another guest next week, don't we?
We sure do. I gotta grab this because next week
Jesse's grabbing something.
we have the man behind Gaspar Dislikes Amusements. I had to throw that on I got that shirt at Legion's Con. George was giving those out. Speaking of George, George is our guest next week. George Gaspar. Which I got to say, I think that's one of the best drawings I've done.
I was just going to say that. I think you killed it, man.
Now, I say drawings. I'm literally just tracing over photographs and recoloring. I'm not like I can draw
a little bit more than that, but
yeah. I'm like I'm going to give credit to the fact that it was a very clear photo. I think that really helped. It was nice, and I didn't have to anyway. George Gaspar is going to be here with us next week. Maybe I'm waiting for
real quickly on your drawings and stuff. I just want to throw this out there, folks. If you need a logo done, hit Jesse up. He does great job. There were quite a few different shirts at Legions Con that had logos that Jesse did. I know my logo that I used for Art by Ackerman with me and Darla on it, Jesse did. I actually just had a light box that's made for my room. It hasn't arrived yet. They're making it, but when I was talking about making this customizing studio, Brian Burke, who has an amazing setup, said, hey, personalize it, make it your own. And I knew that I wanted that logo that Jesse did in there. But he does a great job. So if you guys need a logo done, hit up Jesse. He does fantastic work. So,
well, make sure I have the availability to do it first. I appreciate that. But yes, if I have time and we can work something out, I will happily work on
just make the price right. He'll take care of you. So
I'll work in trades, figure trades or parts trades, like figure parts. I'm going to stop talking.
All right.
Trevor's asking where the link for Emil's story is. I'm assuming it's just on his YouTube page.
It's on his YouTube page. If you just hit videos, scroll down, there's two. One you'll see has some Swedish words, and you'll be like, I don't know what that says. That's the Swedish version, and then the other one says Mauritius Treasure, and then that's the English version. So
okay, well there you go.
Yeah, and if there is any kind of problem with the English translation, Darla and I both helped with that, so you can yell at us, don't yell at Emil. So
yeah because I searched Emil Wickman on I know if I just did an @ or something it would find it, but if the first search pulls up a bunch of Atom Power videos.
Yeah, I can put the link in the chat real quick.
Yes,
if you want to talk to the folks or about the folks or say anything to the folks or talk to me. Anything.
Sorry, wait, really. What? Yes. So, oh wow, Rob's going crazy with the. I wish we could see these. I know it's our little icons. He's typing all the Meep.
Oh, nice.
Shelve Jesse icons. Which is something you get if you became a member of the channel.
That says it's from Just Shelve It, but that's me. But that link will take you right to Emil's video. So
there you go.
And once again, it's not necessarily a Christmas story, but I feel like it's more of a Christmas story than Die Hard, for sure, because it has that feel to it. So there you go.
Okay.
You get the Die Hard people mad at me. So
that's all right.
Yeah.
Well, this has been fun.
Better story than Die Hard. That's what I'm saying. So
that's fair. I like Die Hard, but yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
I don't think it's a Christmas movie.
Exactly.
All right. For those of you celebrating in America, have a great Thanksgiving this week.
Mm-hmm.
If you get to, if you don't, have a great Thursday.
Mm-hmm.
You know what? And keep it turkey. I'm sorry. Turkey.
Turkey, not brisket. Brisket's great, but this time of year, turkey.
I mean, if there's brisket at the table, I'll probably grab some, but I want turkey.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah. And ish, if your turkey's too dry, you just need to learn how to freaking cook. So just throwing that out there. It ain't the turkey, man.
Ooh.
It ain't the turkey. It's the turkey maker. Okay. So there you
go. The words of Curtis Ackerman are the words of Curtis Ackerman. There we go. All right, folks. Have a great week. Have a great Sunday. Have a great whatever's left. I'm going to go watch Dune Prophecy, episode 2 on HBO. And yeah. What's on your shelf?
No, you're supposed to ask me. You're supposed to say,
hey, Curtis.
Until next time.
Until next time.
Yippee-ki-yay, motherfucker.
Whoa, no, what? No!